forth in the comments. I'd rather you just come up and speak to me about what you disagree with. So, Peppa Pig, if you want to come up and talk about that, go ahead and come on up. I went ahead and sent you an invite. We might as well have the discussion instead of going back and forth in comments. All right. And if you're watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, shout out to you. If you're watching me over on my channel, Volcy Thought, shout out to you as well. This stream is for everybody. It's not just for Black people. I'm not sure why you're asking that. You know, I get that question a lot. Every time I do these lives, I always get the same question: is this live only for Black people? Why would it? Why would it be so? Well, there are times where I do lives only for Black people. There are times where I do that, especially coming up in I think in about 2 weeks. I am gonna go ahead and do a live that's strictly a Black conversation. That is gonna happen in maybe a few weeks, but when it's topics like this, like no, anybody can come up and talk to me. Even when I aim my topic specifically at Black people, I don't mind talking to a white person about it. All right. The name is Black Atheist Coalition, and the reason why it's Black Atheist Coalition is because we're Black atheists. So that's the name of the channel. That doesn't mean that you can't come up and talk to me. That's so weird. Why would you think that? That is so strange, bro. Like, my goodness. Yes, the name of the channel is Black Atheist Coalition. That doesn't mean you can't talk to me. That is so weird. What's on hell? Appreciate the likes. All right, so we'll just go ahead and wait on some folks to come on up, see if who would like to talk about what I have on the board. And again, the link is pinned. You can go on tiny.cc/Volcy Live, and you can speak to me over on the YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the comments so you guys can go ahead and see it. That's public. I'll drop the link in the comments in a second, just so you guys can see it. And I hope this is going out to the FYP, because I've been having a little trouble with the FYP. Oh, over on TikTok, I've been having a little issue with the FYP. What up, weed? What up, weed? My mod weed is in the comments. What's going on with you, weed? Appreciate you. Hope y'all's having a good night. Hope y'all's having a good night. We just waiting for anybody who would like to have a discussion. So like I said, if you want to go ahead and talk to me, the link is tiny.cc/Volcy Live. If you're on anything else, if you're not on TikTok, if you're on the YouTubes, you can go to tiny.cc/Volcy Live to speak with me. If you're on Twitch, if you see me on Twitch, you can go to, once again, tiny.cc/Volcy Live. And here over on TikTok, you just hit that guest button, and we could definitely have that conversation. Hopefully this gets pushed out to the FYP. If I don't get some guest over on TikTok within the next few moments, I'll just go ahead and do a quick reset and see if that pushes it out to the FYP. Yeah, if we don't get any guests on the TikTok, that means that basically TikTok is not pushing it out. So we'll do a quick refresh, and then we'll see if we can get any more guests. All right, but if you're watching me on if you're watching me over on the YouTube, once again, you guys can just go ahead and go to tiny.cc/Volcy Live. Once again, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the comments. and you'll be able to see it. FYP is for your page, for your profile, I think. For your page or for your profile. It's one of those. But it's a TikTok thing, right? On TikTok, usually for people to see the live or see guests, it gets pushed out to your main page. And if it doesn't, you don't really get a lot of guests. So TikTok live is really weird when it gets to that. Sometimes it doesn't push it out to the main page, and you gotta do it all over again. You gotta stop the live and do it again. It's weird. It's really strange. But once again, y'all, we're just waiting for a guest. Here we go. All right, y'all. We have a guest over on the YouTube. We're gonna see if they load up. What up, Prince? Let's see if they load up over on the YouTube, because it seems they might be having. Okay, there we go. They did load up. All right, we have Jesse. Jesse, how's it going, Jesse? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
What's up, man?
I'm all right. Are you at least 18? Did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2? Can you hear me? Oh, wait. Ooh, now can you hear me? You can hear me now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, my bad. That is my fault. Sorry about that. Are you at least 18, Jesse? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
No, I'm 18.
Cool. Did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Let me look at number 1. Leftist policies are better for society. Let's do that one.
Yeah, sure. I think leftist policies are better for society, and I do have specific policies that I advocate for. Did you want to hear those, or did you want some?
What policies do you think are best?
Single payer healthcare, guaranteed housing, investment into infrastructure and public transportation, parental leave at least 6 months, minimum wage tied to your area and inflation, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, things like that.
Oh, I love every policy. Go through them one at a time. I'll tell you which ones I like, which ones I don't like.
Okay, single payer healthcare.
Single payer health, meaning, what do you mean by single payer?
Single payer, universal healthcare, the same way they have in France and Sweden and Japan and China. Every single industrialized nation. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm for that.
All right, cool. Guaranteed housing.
Yeah, I guess that's like socialist, or that's paid for by the government?
Essentially, we turned Section 8 from like the lottery program that it is into a more robust program where we make sure that homelessness is eradicated across the country.
I love that. That's national or local, or?
That would be national.
That sounds right to me. Section 8 housing for everybody. No more lottery for Section 8. That sounds right.
All right, cool. So you agree with me? Leftist policies are better for society.
So far, so good.
All right, cool. What would you qualify as a leftist policy you don't think is good for society? Give me 1 second, Jay. I'll bring you up in a moment. I'm sorry. I was talking about TikTok, not you. Go ahead, Jesse.
I can't name any leftist policy I don't think is good for society. I just wanted to hear what your policies were.
Oh, okay.
Or the policies that you advocated for.
Oh, okay, cool. Not a problem. Cool.
I was just trying to learn your ideas.
Okay, gotcha. All right, not a problem. Well, number 2 says, why should I believe in a God? I'm not sure if you're religious or not.
I'm just coming back to the religion. What God meaning Jesus Christ?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, why should you believe in a God?
Yeah, exactly. That's my question. Why should I believe in one? Because I don't see a reason to believe that Jesus. I don't have any problem with him being an actual guy, like a person, but I don't have any reason to believe that he had, superpowers.
Yeah, I feel you on that. You think Jesus was a person, but not a divine being.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
All right. Coolies. All right, man. Looks like we're all good, and I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next guest. I appreciate you, though.
Okay, for sure. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. All right, we have Servant. I hope I'm saying that right, servant. All right,
Yes.
Jay, I'm gonna bring you up in a second. All right, I just want to talk to the guests first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up, Jay. Actually, Jay and Caddy. All right, servant, how's it going, servant? Are you at least 18? And which number did you want to talk about?
Peace into this house. And well, I'm not too sure about your number, but you were saying something about like religious, like overtones, maybe about like maybe even into society. Is that okay if we talk about that a little?
Yeah, we could talk about that a little. So you want to talk about number 2? Why should I believe?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that one.
All right, cool, not a problem. Why, in your opinion, should I believe in a God?
All right. So if I was going to give an opinion that I take from scriptures because I study them, it is all about a family that comes together, and their criteria is simple. It's they have to love each other, and they can't be selfish.
Gotcha. All right. So, servant, give me one moment, okay? Just let you know that you're in on TikTok as well. I do have 2 people on my panel, Caddy and Jay. They may want to ask you some questions, but you're gonna talk to me first for about 10-15 minutes, and then they'll go ahead and ask you some questions. That sound cool?
I was going to say, if anybody wants to, I've never done this before like that. I've been on a couple of places where I was able to talk to some people, but if anybody wants to talk or ask me something, I have nothing against it.
No, all cool. I was just making sure that you know what's gonna happen, because you may hear a voice other than mine, and you know I don't want you to be surprised by that. All right, so you're gonna talk to me first for about maybe 10-11 minutes, and then I have Jay and I have Caddy over on my panel, and they may talk to you as well. Okay.
Sure.
Right, cool.
Sounds
not a problem. So they're gonna be on mute for a few minutes, and then once I say, "Hey, Jay, Caddy, you guys can jump in," they'll ask you questions. All right, servant. So we asked, why should I believe in a God? And you said that basically from what you believe, it's all about being a family. Let's make sure that I have your viewpoint correctly. Are you part of any type of religion, or are you just like a general God believer?
I'm strictly based in scripture and what they say, belief system.
And the scripture you're talking about is from the Bible, the Quran, or the Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, no, I would. Well, yeah, the Bible, the Holy Bible.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool, not a problem. All right, so you base it on off the Bible. That's all good and well, right? Now the thing is, I don't see a reason to believe that the Bible is actually correct, or I don't see any evidence behind it, so I don't see any reason to believe in its claims. That doesn't mean that there's no good stories in there, or you might not take any good parables from it. Sure, you can do that. But is Jonah and the whale was Jonah and the whale a real thing? I don't believe so. Was Noah's Ark a real thing? I definitely don't think so, because there's no evidence for it. There's actually evidence against it. Did Adam and Eve actually exist? No, I don't think so. Did Jesus rise from the dead and then fly to the sky like Superman? No, I don't think so. Like, these can be parables that you can take from it, like sacrifice, procrastination, overcoming obstacles, stuff like that. But are they actual real events? I don't believe so.
Right. Now let's say it's just about today and me and you. We won't have to worry about what happened maybe thousands of years ago versus millions of years ago. It's an interesting topic, and very well, it's something interesting we could get into, but it leads to nothing that's fruitful, because it all stems on faith. If you have faith that somebody made all of this, there would be certain characteristics that you will find everywhere. And there is, some people don't believe there's anything there, and some people believe there is, and they believe it in different ways. The way I present what I have, my understanding is, I'm looking for brothers and sisters that do not care to harm anybody. They do see the value in, if somebody is cold, if they could give them a jacket or something, it's not beyond them. That is the criteria of what I would call faith. And the reason why is because, like, even and I hate saying it like this, the animal kingdom, because I get pushback, and I don't mean to be ignorant in how I say things. So if I do come across ignorant, I apologize. But the idea that animals do not adorn themselves to prepare for the future like we do. We can dwell in the past, which is in our mind, and waste our whole life on things that happened years ago. And I know people who have done that. And it's like, there's a spiritual aspect to life that nobody can deny, but most people they categorize it as like maybe it's in the psyche. Well, it's not. Okay. Because to life, they can't
do all that and be brotherly and loving to each other without any type of religion or God belief, right? So that's possible to do. So I don't see a reason to believe in God for that. But the number two thing that I would say is that, I mean, animals show the same type of love and charity to each other. Like if you ever seen a mother dog or a mother cat, like the way they treat their pups and their kittens, they very much love them. You see what I mean? So it's not something that I don't think makes us different from the animal kingdom.
Yeah, no. I wasn't talking instinctual, care for your pack kind of stuff, like our puppies. I define that as like a love standard. Is like when you come home and all you did is check the mail and your animal's happy to see you. Mm-hmm. That produces something inside of you that it's like a desire that's something we like and want. Mm-hmm. That's the spiritual realm that most people don't understand that with, is like the love and hate thing. Mm-hmm. It's like other animals don't go out of their way to insult other animals that they've never met and they don't know.
At least in their group. All right, but Servant, I got you. All right, so once someone from my panel wants to jump in, Jay, you can go ahead. I'm not sure who else to go with it.
What's your name, sir?
Servant.
Servant, I don't understand your positioning. What is your contention? Because the simple fact is this: Volcy's point is that why should I believe in God? And you disagreed with that point. And I don't understand how you're going to correlate whatever the fuck you said have anything to do with what he said. You're having totally two different conversations. I don't know if you know this, but you're having totally different conversations.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we're going with this, sir. So that's let's go ahead and streamline the conversation. I don't believe in a God because I see no good reason, no good evidence to believe in. So, would you agree or disagree with that assertion?
No. I was okay. So if I can make a correlation, I hope I'm not being rude. And if anybody needs to get in here, I can bow out. No,
you're the only one in the queue right now. You can go ahead and keep going.
Okay, cool. So here's the correlation: is if I was to present to you a case of there's evidence that there's something beyond us, and there's plenty of it, you have enough to go, okay, I'm listening, or go, I don't even want to listen. So that determines the factor if I even want to.
I mean, I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead. What do you think is evidence of beyond? Sure.
No. I'm laying out my argument so you could give me pushback.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the first thing is like now we have people are already starting to be divided between they care about themselves only, or they're willing to care about somebody else, maybe if there's a benefit.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Well, hold on.
Can you talk about why do you disagree? Hey, I'm gonna bring it back. Can we talk about why do you disagree with the simple fact that there is a God and expound on that? All that other shit is irrelevant to the conversation. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so if I could ask you,
I'm kind of lost here, Servant. So your whole argument, I got you. Your whole argument is that the fact that people have love and care for each other shows there's a God. Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely. So let me make my correlation if I could, and just give me maybe a minute or two.
Yeah, you can go ahead, and then Caddy has a question for you. Go ahead and
sure.
You're saying. Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so now we all know that we have maybe met people that have family members that are not welcome in their house because of how they act. And then there's some people that even you might allow people in your house that aren't even related to you because you know them, you trust them. Now there's some people who could be in your direct bloodline, and you don't even let them in your house because troubles happen. Now, we all understand the structure of a family. So my idea when I read the Holy Scriptures and why I believe in a God is because if I could have a family that would never hurt me, would always help me out if I ever needed it, is an idealism that anybody can grasp, because we view it in, the animal kingdom, because, when they get hungry enough, they might eat their young.
I disagree.
We know that there's a spiritual side to everything, even if you want to label it something else. I just try to make it simple and go, that sounds, it is spiritual because there's no use for it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so two things I would say. I'm sorry, Jay, give me 1 second. Two things I would say, Servant. Number one, everything that you just described, that doesn't show that a God exists, right? But number two, family members like kind of hurt each other all the time. You know what I mean? So is like I don't see how this would lead us to a God. And I don't, when you say everyone knows the spiritual side to things, I want to know what you mean by spiritual, because with the way that you're using it, it sounds like otherworldly, ethereal, some sort of other dimension where the ghosts and the demons live. But that's not really what I think spiritual is. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking for a second. Jay wants to go first. Actually, Jay, you mind let Caddy ask his question, and then you could go ahead and respond to it. Don't forget where your place is at, though. All right. Caddy, what was your question, Caddy?
My question for him is: you don't necessarily need a monotheistic God or a God at all to define reality and why reality is. I mean, in science, there exists infinite notions and finite notions. So my question to him would be, if you understand the interconnected relationship between you and all phenomena, why are you necessarily putting a creator in something that could be, it is what it is and always has been? And there's no reason for there to be a creator other than the naturalistic way life functions. There's destruction, there's creation, and there's preservation. Those principles right there are prevalent in the cosmos, and they're prevalent in life right now. So why do you put a monotheistic authoritarian figure over all of the known that's something that's always been, and you're just giving it contextualization based upon your feelings and perceptions?
Okay, so if I look past my perceptions and what I feel, I see principalities at work. We all understand sowing and reaping. Now, if you grow up and you do bad things and you're doing nothing but bad, usually bad comes from it. And it's not because there's an evolutionary chain as much as there is what you do matters. It's kind of like if you're a sour, negative person, happy people do not hang out with you very long. You don't make anybody's life better. Those are principalities that we actually can collect data from. And yet that's the spiritual realm, because my feelings should matter nothing to nobody. And yet I can make a whole room upset by my behavior. It is like, I'm not talking about going in and throwing things, but literally, if you come into a loving home and you're always used to somebody being loving and they're not, you realize something is wrong. Now, evolution dictates that something is changing, so there's nothing wrong.
I'm not sure if I was gonna say, like, Servant, I think you think you answered his question, but I don't think you really did. I'm sorry, Kat, go ahead.
So you're coming from it again, from this thing in sociology called nature nurture. You have a subjective reality. Yeah, you have a subjective reality, which gives you a point of view. You have indoctrinations, which gives you a point of view. You have attachments, which gives you a point of view. You have to understand that when you're trying to give form meaning, when you're giving form meaning, it is because you have a sentient mind that's deriving meaning from your feelings and your perceptions. That's why you're giving form name. Now, you can call those feelings something that has to do with the interconnected relationship with the cosmos, but you cannot give it a complete title and say, I know what it is, because that would be a lie. You don't know what it is, because there's tons of experiences that are similar, yes, but come from
No,
different contexts in different religions. So you
Hold
can't
on.
put a monotheistic title on it.
I can.
I just want to
I even know what the
interject.
title is, and I can even put a name on it.
Listen. I really don't think that.
Yeah.
I really don't get any of the shit that you're saying. You're just saying things.
No.
You said something
Listen,
about.
hold on. I'm trying to
You
rationalize
said,
this.
first of all, hey, sir,
Hold on, sir.
sir, are you? It's like, what's the word I'm trying to? Because you said principality. Like, what the fuck that has to do with anything? Do you know what principality is?
Hold on. It's like the idea of slave master. We can both understand one thing.
That is not what principality is.
Let me ask you a question on principalities. You said that
That
it doesn't mean nothing. Let me give you
I'm sorry,
So-
sir, but you're not using the correct terms.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
hold
why
on. Let
we're
me give
kind of
you
lost.
a question.
Because
to see where
servant,
you're at.
principality is basically a form of governance. It's a piece of land. So that's why we're kind of wondering why you're using that word. Do you mean principle or like the principle of what you're trying to say? Because we're kind of lost there. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Let me just ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think that there's boundaries in life once you cross over them? They change?
No. What we're going to need you to do is acknowledge that what the information that we just told you, what you're saying is incorrect. You're not using the correct terms, and you're going to brush over that is not going to happen. You need to take accountability for the fact that you're using words and that you do not understand the terms and how it functions. Like, stop saying, just because you're using word salads doesn't make you smart. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Time out.
No time out, nothing. This is what we have. This is the issue that we have with many of the Europeans, specifically men like yourself, that hold on to these social constructs called white and whiteness. It's because you have removed yourself. Ain't no hold on, nothing.
Hey, my bro, you don't know what color I am.
I don't give a shit, nothing. I don't care.
Yeah, you sound ignorant right now because you don't.
Yeah, I'm the one. Can you tell me what ignorant means?
Yeah, you are outside of a law that you don't understand.
Can you tell me what ignorant
means? Servant, let's bring this back. Because servant,
what the fuck is happening?
I'm sorry, Jay. But servant. The reason why we're extremely confused is because I think you think that you're answering our questions, but you're really not. And there are terms you're using that don't need to be used because you're using them wrong. Just period, you're using them wrong. But the thing is, servant, like let's just use plain old language, okay? So you believe in a God, we do not believe in a God. The reason that we do not believe in a God is because like there is no evidence that the God that you're saying is actually true. The God that you're purporting to be true from the scriptures is actually true. We have no evidence of that. We have nothing to back that up. I got you. But what you said to us was that what you think backs that up is the fact that people love each other and want to have families and be nice to each other. Cool, but that sounds like empathy, which we all have, and even animals have. So we don't show how that leads to a God, or at least yours.
I think you have a better chance. Sir, I think
all I'm asking for is just one thing: is that I will not fight with you guys. I'm not coming to be ill in any way. I'm just trying to see if we can make sense out of something. And
make sense out of what, sir?
Hey, don't interrupt me, man. That's right.
What we're saying to you is,
let me finish my sentence, please, sir.
This motherfucker, because the thing is, just because you got a mouth,
I apologize for trying to make the show a little bit better. I saw you had 6 people on, and I figured I could talk.
Give me a second, sir.
What I'm trying to get you to understand, and what Volcy's trying to get you to understand, is that the shit that you're saying, no one understands what you're saying. That's the point. Like, can you tie it to the actual conversation? You having a totally different conversation, and then you're using words, and then someone's calling you out on their bullshit. You have a problem with that. You're very much pretentious, and what you need to stop doing is listen to what we're being said. Just because you have a mouth doesn't mean that you get to fucking run it. Don't make no fucking sense. And I don't understand nothing. You have a better chance of talking about topic number one and arguing that.
Yeah. We might as well just move to number one because I don't think number two we're gonna really get anywhere because I'm really not understanding your position. How about number one? Do you think leftist policies are bad for society?
Well, the only thing that I really care to put my life towards is finding brothers and sisters that want to come together. And I apologize that you didn't let me make the correlation that if there's degrees to something being good and bad, and I could help you see it from a point of view that maybe just you could understand. So I apologize that I was ignorant.
Servant. I got you. I get that. I understand. The question then becomes is how does this lead us to a God? Because all of us agree that there are degrees of harm, et cetera, et cetera. We have no problem with that, right? But what you're talking about is coming together and loving everybody. That's just empathy, right? And we all have that. But I'm not saying how that leads us to a God. That was my only point.
Okay. Well, what's your name, sir?
My name is Volcy.
Volcy, man.
Is it Volcy, you said?
Yeah, it's Volcy. Yeah, Cat, you can go ahead right after he says what he got to say. Go ahead, servant, and then Caddy has a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay, Volcy. I thought we had 10, 15 minutes just to chat and kind of get some ground footage. And that's what I was trying to do is like with the family, everybody can understand what family is. And even if you can't understand what I'm saying yet, you might be understanding it from a point of view you never heard before is why you don't think you understand what I'm saying. But there is spiritual, like in my belief system, it says that the carnal man cannot understand the things of the spirit and they war against each other. So that's what I'm trying to stop from happening.
All right. Well,
what the fuck that has to do with you saying that you should believe in a God or not? Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, his 15 minutes was up. His 15 minutes was up anyway. Yeah, his 15 minutes was up. That's the ground footage. Ground footage.
What a fucking moron.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, this way. So all right, y'all. This is gonna be a slow night because we haven't got any other guests yet within that 15 minutes. I was just trying to keep them on as long as possible. We can see if we can get more guests, but y'all keep tapping the screen. Jay, how's it been going, man? How's your night been?
What's going on? I'm just doing some work, but I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you sit through just fucking word garbage and just people just spewing shit and just because they got a mouth, they get just talking and talking and talking. It's just the most weird shit I've ever seen. Get out of my face.
It's so weird, bro. So weird. Hey, Caddy, how you been doing, bro?
I've been all right, man. Listen, I'm polytheistic, but even I was I was not monotheistic. I was atheist, and then I was Buddhist, which was kind of atheist, and then I became Advaita Vedantin, which believes in a self, in an eternal self. But then I became polytheistic for a reason, and there's reasons for it. But he has to prove to you that there is a being or something other than this life. You know what I mean? The argument's on him. You know what I'm saying? And he's not doing a good job by giving you the story that, is the Bible. And as you know, his religion comes from polytheism in general. You know what I mean? And that's historical fact about about Abrahamic religion.
That is
something that the Abrahamic people don't even themselves know about, fully educated on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's not doing any good job trying to give you his religion. You know what I mean? Like that's like me trying to convince you of my polytheism. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm speaking of Hinduism to you, I'm speaking about it from the atheistic point of view of Hinduism, which is Advaita Vedanta. And that's something that, maybe you can relate to. Maybe some people who are atheists can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I want to, it's a discussion that you have to really sit down and have a long build with, and you don't got that time. It's on him to prove to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You know something interesting, Caddy? Over on my Black Atheist Coalition channel, there is a Hindi person, and they said that they do like Advaita. I'm gonna butcher it. I don't want to.
Advaita Vedanta.
There we go. I don't want to insult your culture, so I don't want to butcher it. But yeah, this person who said they actually like it. So yeah, definitely, man.
I also say this. One of the reasons I'm white, and one of the reasons why I chose Hinduism is because Hinduism has methodologies to deal with all your ancestors, not just focus on ones that are your culture, your race, that kind of thing. Hinduism has methodologies that covers all the ancestors. It's a non-dual / dualist / non-dualist monism / atheist / polytheistic and animism all into one. And
That's
people are like, well, how do they do that? And it's very explained with the philosophical schools paired with the traditions. So that's what makes Hinduism very unique. You'll have people that subscribe to the philosophical schools, which tend to be more atheist in nature, and then you'll have people who subscribe to the traditions. But in Hinduism, there's a sense of oneness with these concepts. This oneness is the key. You know what I mean?
That's really interesting. I've always been interested in how the Eastern religions work, like Hinduism, Buddhism, what else? Jainism. Or Jainism is very, very different. Even Shintoism, like I've on Threads, I follow a Shinto shrine maiden. You know what I mean? And it's so different from what we're used to over here. Which is why I kind of look into the African traditional religions, because even those are different. You know what I mean? The way that we think in the West about how spirits are supposed to be around and assist us and save us, it doesn't work that way in African traditional religion. There's no savior concept. It's more about ancestral continuity. It's more about reciprocalism. It's more about how Christians say that they have a relationship with Jesus, but all they doing is just worshiping them. In African traditional religions, it really is a relationship. If you don't call them, they ain't gonna call you. You know what I'm saying? So it really is like that. Like the spirits are like that. Like if you insult them, they ain't gonna fuck with you no more. There's like, nah, you try my face. You see what I'm saying? So it really is one of those things. Like it's very, very interesting. It really is like we said, a relationship is all about continuity, responsibility towards your community, which is why I think like if Black people were to choose any type of religion or spiritual like path, it should go back to the African spiritual traditions, because we put a lot of that into Christianity anyway. You know what I mean? Like, where do you think the Holy Ghost came from? They also
do that thing where they think that, that what is it, that Ethiopia had Christianity forever, and that's not the case. As we know, Christianity was brought to Ethiopia. Ethiopia itself has an indigenous spirituality that's native to it.
It does.
So does the rest of Africa. You know what I mean? And when we're talking about out of Africa theory, even the out of Africa theory has a migrational route to the southern part of India. So there's a southern migration route from the out of Africa theory to India. India that's one of the reasons why India is one of the most ancient spiritualities. It's like I think it's the second ancient spirituality still living today. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And of course you got, Yoruba, Voodoo, you know what I mean? And all those other ones as well that are equally valid. It's just that the monotheistics and the Europeans who've chosen monotheism because they didn't want to, die with their polytheism. They were converted. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They chose that, and today's white person doesn't even know about their own roots. You know what I mean? Like they chose capitalism and racial identity over their own roots. If you talk to a white man today in America that says I'm Irish, and then you talk to a person who's actually Irish, and he's gonna be like, this white man don't know nothing about Irish heritage. Irish, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so you know what I mean? Like that's the whole problem, is the choosing of identity over the actual culture, and capitalism is the dilution of culture. You know what I mean? It will completely dilute cultures.
It is. So someone actually did correct me in the comments. Hinduism is a foreign name. I did remember reading that. It's actually Sanatana Dharma. Yeah, Sanatana Dharma. Yeah,
the eternal way. And that's because when the colonizer came, they couldn't pronounce certain things, so they just called them Hindu after the Indus Valley. Matter of fact, the colonizer actually, what they did when they came into India was they corrupted the Brahmin caste, the priestly caste. They corrupted them, and those priestly castes started pushing books and scriptures that were edited with the colonizer's logic for power, right? And they did it for power. So a lot of those people who are coming over, who are explorers and people that wanted to explore Eastern spirituality, they believed in the Aryan invasion theory. The Aryan invasion theory is something that is backed by Mustache Man, and it's also backed by the Theosophy Society. The Theosophy Society and Mustache Man are prime supporters of the Aryan invasion theory.
Mm-hmm.
And the Aryan invasion theory says, it was the Aryans who later influenced who later became the Hindus. But that is not the case. Similarly, there are Hindus who are nationalists as well. They think it's the out of India theory. Science, no matter what, science says it is the out of Africa theory. There is no debating in that. You know what I'm saying? And the Indians themselves, Northern Indians and Southern Indians, they have a problem with the fact that somebody's saying that they have ancestry from Africa. The out of Africa theory, because they've been being corrupted by Modi to be nationalists. You know what I mean? To fight against Islam nationalists and other types of extremists. So that's a real thing going on right now. And there are still people in India today, older people, who believe in the Aryan invasion theory, which is a colonized theory, and it's not really real. It has nothing to do with Hinduism. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They did the same thing in Africa as well when they said that it was yellow peoples or like Greeks who came all the way to Zimbabwe and built Great Zimbabwe, like insane shit like that, bro. Insane shit like that, just to take away credit from people who were of other races, of other continents, of other cultures that were not white. You know what I mean? Like a lot of that was what was happening. As a matter of fact, that theory that you said, the Aryan invasion, that actually is a straight line to the Rwandan genocide, because back then, before the Germans came over, right, Hutus and Tutsis were basically the same group of people. It was just that one of them worked inside and the other one worked outside. That was it. One of them worked with the farms and the animals, and the other one worked inside the administrations and inside the palaces. That was really it. But there was no like beef, right? It's like me working in City Hall and having a friend who's a plumber. Like there's no real beef between us, right? We're still the same people. It's just that we have different jobs. That's what Hutus and Tutsis were. Then the Germans came in and they were like, oh, these people are lighter skinned, they're a little taller, and they have longer noses. Therefore, they're one race, and these people who work outside are another race. You know what I'm saying? And then they brainwashed the Tutsis with this thing of them being superior and stuff like that, and that led to the genocide. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where capitalism and white supremacy infects everything, and it's the most destructive ideology on the planet. I've said this before plenty of times. White supremacy is the most destructive ideology that's ever happened. The most destructive ideology has ever happened.
I think one of the main problems we have in the world right now is over identity and not properly understanding one's identity. Mm-hmm. And that has to do with colonization, and it has to do with nature nurture situations. And some people become made to be so over identified with what they think is their identity, and they get all, proud about it and really hard about it, and they want to fight people about it. You know what I mean? And they start believing of certain things, like, oh, I believe in the out of India theory or the Aryan invasion. They want to believe in these things, or the Great Replacement theory and all these other things. They get so hardened with their identity because they don't understand that in ancient times identity was fluid. It didn't have these constructs. And that's part of the Europeans' whole thing. The whole game is making constructs. You know what I mean? I can make the argument, right, that the Abrahamics themselves, because they don't know their own polytheistic faith, they do not know that they are worshiping Yahweh, who is a desert nomad deity that gets fused with El to become a war and storm deity. You know what I'm saying? And that requires blood. So I can make the argument that they are not within their own modality doing animal sacrifice or doing that type of stuff. They're not offering Yahweh blood, and that's what's causing a whole bunch of problems within their whole. That's why they feel like they need to be fighting everybody. That's why they feel like, you know what I mean. But I can make the argument that the Westerners who want to be Christian nationalists are crazy Looney Tune people who believe in who believe in their power, and they're offering their deity blood through war to gain resources. I can make that argument if I wanted to,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, this is what I'm gonna hit a quick refresh. All right, just to see if we could go ahead and get any guests. Guys, I'm gonna hit a quick refresh. All right, over on the YouTubes, you guys are gonna see the TikTok look a little funny, but that's because I'm starting all over again. All right, so just give me a minute and we're gonna be right back. All right, Caddy, go ahead.
Giveaway. Guys, 183 items left. Click that white box. Look at all the items, guys. Among those items, 4 iPads and a Switch still left. Let's go, Letitia. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. All right, and we is back. All right, y'all, and we are back. Go ahead and start tapping that screen. All right, y'all. So we are back. I just had to hit a quick refresh real quick, just to see if this could get pushed out to the algorithm. But we are back. Caddy, I'm gonna bring you up in a second. Just start tapping that screen for me, please. Tap that screen, tap that screen, tap that screen. Let's try to get some guests back in. Once again, if you're watching over from the YouTubes, once again, if you're watching over from the YouTubes, if you're watching over from Volcy Thoughts, the link is pinned for you to join. If you're watching over from the Black Atheist Coalition, once again, the link is pinned to join. And if you're watching from the Deconstruction Junction, the link is pinned to join. Oh, they can't hear me. They can't hear me. Wait, y'all can hear me right now, right? Over on the YouTubes here, make sure y'all can hear me, please. Am I muted? I should not be muted. Give me a sec. Give me a second, guys. All right. The TikTok can hear me. The TikTok can hear me. Why isn't the YouTube hearing me? Let me see something. All right, the TikTok can hear me. Why isn't the YouTube hearing me? All right, guys, I do see y'all in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up some folks really quickly. Just give me a second. I just want to make sure. Okay, the YouTube can hear me. All right, great. The YouTube can hear me. Great.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Hello.
How's it going? Jason, how's it going, Jason? Are you at least 18? Oh, what the hell happened?
I just want to say hi, just to be respectful. Yeah, I'm 45, bro. I'm 45.
45. All right, cool. Did you want to talk about number one or number two?
Number one is leftist policies are better for society, and number two is why should I believe in a god?
Yeah. So, which one did you want to talk about?
Neither. I'd like to talk about what I consider the truth.
All right. So the topics are number one and number two. Let me know which one you want to talk about.
Neither one.
All right. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and move on because I ain't got no time to waste. Hey guys, once again I appreciate you all for being here. Once again, there is a link to join. I might bring the phone number back up, y'all, because it seems that when I have a phone number, I get a lot more guests. But the only reason why I don't have the phone number now is because people can't hear it. You know what I mean? Or my guests can't talk to the person on the line. So that's the only reason I don't have the phone number. You know what I mean? That's why I stopped having it. But I might bring that back, man. If that's gonna make it that's gonna make the guests a lot more prominent if I have a phone number up. But once again, guys, y'all are amazing. Y'all are wonderful. I do thank y'all for being here. I told buddy number one, number two, he said you don't want to talk about either. I didn't go go away then, like off then, bro. Like, what are you doing here? Oh man, that is hilarious.
Yo, Volcy, can you help me out for a minute? I got a question. What is this? I believe it's the 10%er logic. The stuff about the things that make up melanin, the elements that make up melanin. Is that 10%er logic? I believe, or 5%er? Is it?
That could be 5%er, but I did have a 5%er before who was following me, but
don't they mix the Tao with the Tao with their philosophy as well?
Yeah.
Like, don't they?
Yeah, they do. So it's very strange. The 5%er nation. They have whole different languages for it. I've never truly understood it, so I won't be able to answer it completely. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if you listen to some early Wu-Tang albums, it'll be able to explain to you that way, because it's like,
Man, I know it's a combination of syncretism. I know, like, they're a branch off from, I think they're, if I'm not mistaken, and you can correct me, they're a branch off from the Nation of Islam, right?
a bit, yeah, kind of.
They're like a branch off from the Nation of Islam, and they mix a little bit of Taoist things, Taoist alchemy in their thing. I only say this because I have my bro is kind of, in a way, a black nationalist.
Okay.
But I have to have these. I can't have these discussions with him because he's not willing to listen to me how I know where these things are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. The 5%ers have a very, very interesting theology. You know what I mean? Because they're atheistic as well. They think like basically all religions are false, and it's basically, you know, the energy of they're basically like pantheists, sort of. They're like kind of pantheists and sort of like Spinoza's God, where the energy of the universe is not something that's has a will or has agency, but it still reflects itself through us as humans. Something like that. You know what I mean?
From what I heard, they mix like Islam with Taoist non-dualist concepts. And the thing about Taoism is like Buddhism and like Hinduism, Taoism has many philosophies, and it sounds like they're mixing like alchemy, which is like a mystical tradition within Taoism, with a little bit of mysticism from Islam into one sort of, like you said, sort of like thing. However, there are, like, you know, like I'm familiar with like the Elijah Muhammad. When he was locked up, he talked to some dude who was also doing a huge form of syncretism, and that's how, you know, the Nation of Islam was kind of formed, from Elijah Muhammad talking to this guy he was locked up with, who was doing like some mad syncretism with spiritualities to formulate, you know. And then of course Malcolm would learn, when he went to Mecca, he would learn that that the Nation of Islam is not the real Islam.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he will learn the Nation of Islam is basically like an offshoot of other Islamic traditions. It's a very interesting story. But like I know he left the nation, or he got kicked out of the nation or suspended from the nation, and then he became a mainstream Sunni after a while. Hold on, I have someone in the guest queue. Give me a second. Because sometimes the phone brings it up and sometimes it doesn't. Let me see who's coming up. That's weird. Oh, there it is. All right, we
What's
have
going on?
Anderson. How's it going? Anderson, how's it going, Anderson? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Yeah, I'm 19. I feel like they go both hand in hand though.
You feel they go both hand in hand? Okay, that's not a problem. Cool. Which one did you want to start with? Number 1 or number 2?
We can start with number 2.
All right, let's start number 2. Cool. I don't see a good reason to believe in a God. I don't think I have any good reason to as well. So, and not only that, I don't need it to live a good moral life. So, the question then becomes, why should I believe in one?
Yeah. So, would you think the world would be better if religion was like not a thing?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. What is your basis of morality? Like, are morals subjective?
Morals are subjective, yes. Even if a God were to exist.
So, rape isn't objectively wrong?
It has objective negative consequences. So I would
Like
say
what?
yes. Trauma. That would be the main one. Yeah, really. Yeah. Trauma. Lack of empathy for the person who commits the crime. Things like that.
Okay. So would your basis of morals be consent?
But my basis of morals will be empathy, equality, and increasing human well-being and degrees of harm.
Okay. So what about within those laws, right? And I'm asking a serious question. I want to ask you a serious question. Right? Would AI generated CP be wrong? Because you're not really affecting anybody with it.
AI generated CP?
Yeah.
Like, would it be wrong?
Would it be wrong? Yeah, because you're not really affecting anybody with it. It's just like two AI generated human beings.
I think it will still be wrong because AI, it doesn't generate anything on its own. It gets from other, whatever's on the internet. So you're still violating someone.
What if it didn't have faces? Like, what if it just created like what a human body looked like, and then it just generated the body of a 9-year-old, but it didn't really have a face to desecrate?
It's still generating from something.
Okay. What would be another thing I want to ask? What would be your standard of truth?
That which comports to reality.
But like, how do you know we're in reality?
How do I know we're in reality? Because
like, how do you know this isn't an illusion your brain's created just to make you survive?
Well, no one can solve that problem. I guess I don't.
So existence doesn't really exist.
Existence does exist. I'm saying that none of us can prove that we're not brains in the vat, even you.
Okay. Are you a physicalist?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So like, do you believe things arise from the physical?
Things arise from the physical. As far as what we've seen, everything is physical. So I don't have any evidence of anything else. If that's what you mean.
Like, what would a proposition be?
What do you mean by that?
So a proposition in philosophy is basically like a thing that doesn't really bear space. It's infinite. So like, truth would be a proposition. So like 1 + 1 = 2, right?
Well, that's an axiom.
Oh, okay. We could say that. I mean, some people call it propositions, other people call it an axiom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your brain, which is finite, can't really produce 1 + 1 = 2, right?
Well, we can because we made up 1 and 2, didn't we?
But like we didn't really make up. So we made up math.
We made up numbers, yeah. 1 and 2 don't exist anywhere out there. 1 and 2 exist because we made it exist. Like,
so
you can't hand me
exist.
the number. Yeah, you can't hand me the number 1. You can't hand me the number 2. Like, we made up those labels.
We made up 1 and 2. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you can't hand me the number 2, can you?
No, you can't.
Right. So we made it up.
So there's no metaphysical. Like, there's nothing metaphysical.
Like, outside of physics.
Yeah, outside of the physical, right?
I have no proof that something outside the physical
so
exists.
For example, the truth is metaphysical, right?
When we say the truth is metaphysical, because again, I think the truth is what comports to reality, like what we can show to be within our reality. Yeah, I mean that's what the truth typically is. What we can show to be in reality, like what we have evidence for.
But when you define reality, you usually define it as, for example, something in reality is something that could so it has space, right?
Yeah,
so it can occupy space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how would, for example, truth? Like, what is that? Is that physical? Is that metaphysical? What is that?
I mean, that's a philosophical question that we all still argue over. Like, we're not going to solve that here, you know.
Okay.
May I tackle this young man?
Give me 1 second, Caddy. Let me just finish, because we haven't really gotten to why should I believe in a God yet. We're just going on. We're just asking big questions about philosophy that none of us are going to solve. So,
But wouldn't that lead to something like the impossibility of the contrary? So you have to believe there's something that grounds it. So like also consciousness.
Oh, guys.
what about it?
Consciousness doesn't really come from the brain
How you know that?
because physical states can't be intrinsically experiential.
That doesn't make any sense.
How? What do you mean?
That was word salad. What the words you put together
So-
don't make any sense.
I have one question. Do you believe, for example, consciousness is a physical state?
Consciousness is an emergent property of physical states.
How can an emergent property be intrinsically experiential?
What does that mean?
So how does a physical state, how can a physical state rely on experience? So how can the purpose of a physical state be based on experience?
What does that mean?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example. Can we both agree that your brain's main objective is survival rather than truth?
I'm not sure.
So your brain would lie to you to keep you alive.
Would your brain lie to you to keep you alive? Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, right? So I wanted to ask a question. How does subjective purpose emerge from objective mental processes in the brain that entail survival?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Nature, nurture, man. Come on. It's nature, nurture. Nature, nurture. The outside affects the individual from an early age, which leads to his perceptions. It's
Yeah,
called
but
nature.
if it's a physical state, it shouldn't really be based on something.
Hold on, everybody, stop. None of this leads us to a God. You're just simply saying
do you
that
mean?
I don't understand how consciousness works.
No, but basically you're saying, I don't know. You just conceded and said, I don't know.
Right, but hold on. Me not knowing what exactly you're asking because I barely understand it does not make a God exist.
What do you mean? There has to be something that grounds consciousness, right?
What do you
There has
mean
to be
grounds
something coming from the
consciousness? Like,
brain.
what do you mean, like the reason why consciousness exists?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's an emergent property of the reactions of our brain. It's an emergent property.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
There doesn't have to be a reason. There doesn't have to be a reason. Let me explain how there doesn't have to be a reason. In physics, there is no such thing as no thing. In physics, there always existed a something. There is an interconnected relationship between you and all phenomena. You cannot basically take the sun and move it away and have life. You can't take the moon and move it away and have life. You can't do these things. You are interconnected, interdependent, and interreliant on this phenomena, this something. But your mental formations via your five senses make you categorize reality through contextualization, through experience. But that is highly subjective and based on nature-nurture situations. It is not guaranteed to make everybody have the same perception of reality. So you talking about consciousness having to be created is null and void. It could be what it's always been, and you are just throwing a label on it based upon your own feelings and attachments and emotions.
It's just I'm really having a difficult time trying to get how you're saying that because you don't know where consciousness comes from or how it operates, which is something that's a big question that neuroscience is still trying to answer. As far as what we see, it's an emergent property.
Consciousness.
Right. As far as what we see, it's an emergent property of our brain. But just because we don't have all the answers yet does not make a God exist. Like that's what I'm trying to say here. You're saying that is not an emergent property, but we've never been able to detect consciousness without a physical brain. Until we're able to do that.
That's causation correlation. So
but it's not causation correlation.
Because the brain is an attribute you need for consciousness doesn't mean that the consciousness comes from the brain.
Okay,
right?
So where does it come from then, and how do you prove that?
What do you mean? How do I prove the impossibility of the contrary?
Okay, that's literally saying trust me, bro.
What is your reason?
That's saying trust me, bro. If the question, hold on, wait, listen. Because the position is the question is where does consciousness come from, right? Is it an emergent property of the brain or is it somewhere else? As far as what we've seen, we've never been able to detect consciousness without a physical brain. So it's likely an emergent property of the brain. You're saying that it's not. And when I asked you, How do you know that? How do you show that to be true? You said, oh, well, it's impossible for it to be anything else. That's trust me, bro.
Is there evidence to prove that a God exists?
No.
Okay, that's literally trust me, bro, as well. Because you just said,
it's
well, I'm an
not.
atheist because
You just asked me if there's evidence, and I said no.
So that's impossibility of the contrary. There's no evidence to prove that God exists.
There's no evidence that a God exists, and there's no evidence that consciousness.
That's literally impossibility.
There is no evidence. That's not trust me, bro. You asked me for a piece. You asked me for a piece of information that's demonstrable, that's testable, that's repeatable. That doesn't exist for a God, or at least we don't have that right now.
Literally impossibility of the contrary.
No, it's not. Evidence is not evidence is not impossibility of the contrary. No, it's not. That's not what it is. Evidence is a piece of information that's demonstrable, repeatable. Is data. That's what it is. Evidence is data. Data is not impossibility to the contrary.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? But also, what's the point of evidence and inductive reasoning if you can't even tell we're in reality or not?
Bro, how does this get us to a God? We're just going down a question tree.
What do you mean? There has to be something. There has to be something that grounds reality, truth, logic, morals.
That's trust me, bro.
What do you mean? There has to, what do you mean? It's
what do you mean there has to be something? When you say there has to be something, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not saying it's so. For example, the meaning of a God is an ultimate reality in which
has to be. It's egoic to say there has to be. It's you wanting to have a purpose. It's that right there.
So we don't have purposes. So we don't have purposes, right?
No, you create your purpose. You create one.
That's my point, though. So our mental process is objective.
No, mental process of what does that mean?
Different people.
For example,
everybody pause. When you say our mental states objective, what you mean? Like they objectively exist? They're objectively true? They exist? I don't know why the person dropped.
No, they
whoever. Hold on, give me a second. Whoever came up to my YouTube, you can go ahead and come back because I'm gonna get to you next. You just have to wait. All right. When you say that our mental states objective, what do you mean by that?
So the fact your brain, so for example, a behavior, it has an objective behavior.
Yeah, like me picking up this bottle, I objectively did that. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean, like, for example, like the way, I'm gonna give you another example, right? Your stomach, right? Your stomach objectively behaves, right?
Like, does it do stuff that affects my body? Yeah, does it do stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right? It does, right? So something that's objective, that has objective processes, right? How can subjective purpose emerge from an objective thing that entails survival?
Oh, okay. So like basically, our subjective experiences, how did it emerge from something that's objective as our brain firing neurons?
Basically.
That's basically a question for neuroscience and evolution. I'm not going to be able to answer that here. I don't know. You should ask a neuroscientist or a chemist or evolutionary biologist. You should ask one of those people.
Okay. Thank you for your time, though. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, not a problem. All right. Whoever was in my YouTube queue, I'm not sure who that was, but you can go ahead and come on back. I'm not sure why you dropped because I was going to get to you next, but do apologize, Zeki, for putting you on mute. It's just that it wasn't your turn yet, so that's the only reason I put you on mute. Don't think I was trying to shut you down.
It's okay, I know.
All right, cool. Zeki, how's it going, Zeki? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about Cool. Did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Number 2.
Number 2.
I'm going to give you 2 reasons to believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, you have a finite years to live. When they end, you're going to fall into the gamble where you either a believer or a disbeliever, where you take the risk of Pascal wager or not.
No, I'm because Pascal wager is kind of ridiculous because which God should I then believe in?
Exactly. So the reason number 1 is let's say you skipped the creation of humans as evolution. Who made the constant of gravity?
Who made the constant of gravity? No,
exactly.
Like you're putting the cart before the horse. You're assuming that a thing or a being made that, right? But that's not necessarily true. The constants could be something. Hold on. The constants could just be a natural consequences of physics and chemistry, basically, right? It doesn't have to be a who, but you're assuming that there is one without showing that there is one.
First of all, there is no nature beyond the dimensions. Let's get that out of the way.
I'm not. That doesn't really respond to what I'm saying. What you're saying that your question that you asked was who made the gravitational constants. The thing is, you're assuming that there's a being, there's a who that did make it. There's no reason to assume that.
Exactly. So we either say it. When we say it, we removed intelligence. We removed subjectiveness. If you're going to talk about gravity, that is something that was created with an intent to keep the atoms together, as if the constant of gravity was changed even by a little bit, atoms won't exist.
You're still having a problem. You know what the problem is? I think gravity has an intent. How do you show that? Just because the constants of gravity have atoms coming together does not mean it was made with that intent. You're assuming that.
Let's say I assume. Answer the question. Who made the gravity?
Again, you're assuming that there's something that made gravity, and there's no reason to assume that.
Gravity was made.
Right, but you can't show that to be true. You're assuming that. I understand that that's what your proposition is, but you're not actually showing that proposition is actually, we should actually take that proposition on. Like, I can ask who made this water bottle, right? Like Zephyr Hills made the water bottle, because we know Zephyr Hills is a company, and we know that plastic, this shape here, does not naturally pop out the ground. We know that, right?
Yes.
Now, so when you say, hold on. We know that's not a natural thing, but when it comes to gravity, there is no evidence that is not something that's a natural process of, or natural consequence of physics. You're simply saying, like, for example, you don't say who made the rain, right? Rain is participation. Rain is basically evaporation of water from our earth that forms into cloud and falls down when it gets too heavy. That's all rain is. There is no who making rain. It's just a consequence of physics.
You're short-sighted. You're looking at your feet. Let me give you an example. When you take an axe, when a man take an axe and kill a deer, do you say the axe killed the deer or the human killed the deer?
We say the human killed the deer, but
exactly.
But again, hold on.
Let me continue.
Wait, stop. You're still invoking agents. You have no evidence that an agent created gravity. You have no evidence of that, so you can't just simply assume that to be true. That's what I'm trying to say.
So it came by itself.
We don't know, bro. You just can't say that. My entire point is that you can't simply say that. The thing is, you keep saying who made gravity, but you're assuming that an agent was responsible for physics, and there's no reason to assume that. That's what I'm saying. You're putting the cart before the horse. Why are you assuming that an agent made physics? You have to do that first.
There is two things. Either something exists or it doesn't. Does gravity exist?
Yes, gravity exists.
Okay.
But again, hold on. Zaki. You're not understanding my position. I don't think you're understanding yours. We know gravity exists. That's fine. But you keep saying that you keep invoking some agent that made it. What I'm saying is that you have to show that an agent outside of space and time and gravity actually exists first before you can say who made it. You have to show that first.
If I can show that, then that's no more a faith. That's a reality. You have no reason to call it a faith anymore. That way, it's not God. It's enforced on you, and you have no ability to believe or not. It's no longer faith.
So
it's like someone put a gun into your head.
No, it's not.
Do you believe in that gun?
No, it's not.
You will say yes, because it's going to blow your head.
No,
what we are doing, we're talking about faith. It's something.
Faith is not reliable, my friend. Faith is not reliable.
Yes, but you're taking the gamble.
Why should I take the gamble?
You are in the gamble. You are in a test, and you have finite years.
You have to show that to be true first. I know I have finite years. I know that's true.
Yeah.
But you have to show that the gamble is true first.
If I prove it to you that it's true, then there is no more a test.
Good. What do we need tests for?
Yes,
What do we
but
say?
we are in the test.
You have to show that there's a test first. What do you say, bro?
Oh my God. If we can prove God, then where is the test? Do you understand where I'm going from?
But what I'm saying is that there doesn't need to be a test. That's what I'm saying. I can still not follow. If God were to prove himself, hold on. If God were to prove himself tomorrow, I still don't have to follow him, right? Sure, exactly. I would say that. Sure, he exists, yes, but I don't have to follow him.
This is exactly the test. The test
right.
is
so free will is still intact.
Yes, just what happened with Satan. It's not about arrogance, ignorance. It's about arrogance. It's the defiance and defiance of God. So
I disagree. So Zach, I disagree because look, just because one exists, right, and even if we can show that it created the universe,
yes,
that doesn't mean I have to follow. Wait, hold on.
Yes,
that doesn't mean even if he listen. Even if he were to prove himself tomorrow, that doesn't mean that his prescriptions for life I have to follow. I still have my own free will, correct? I can still follow whatever I want.
Exactly.
So him showing that he exists or it exists does not necessarily make free will gone, right? It doesn't do that.
Yes.
So right. So what I'm saying is what I'm saying is that you're invoking that it exists for no reason at all. Like there's no evidence that it does. So you will have to show that first. And you're saying I have to believe because that's the point of faith. Like, well, then faith is unreliable. Faith is stupid. Or I believe something that I can't prove.
Okay. So God gave us the free will exactly for this. It's to use it and to be tested with it. You have free will, so what are you going to do with it? And he gave us intuition, logic, and deduction to give us the ability to know that he exists and to use our free will to either follow him or be arrogant and not submit, just like Satan.
But it's not. But hold on. This is. Give me second, Caddy. Zeki, the problem that you're having is that this is not arrogant at all. Why would I believe something that I have no evidence for? That's not arrogance, bro. That's hold on. Wait. Listen.
Yes.
It's not arrogance to say that you're claiming this thing exists, and I'm saying I don't believe you because you haven't proven it to me, and you call me arrogant for that. You haven't proved what you're saying. Everyone operates this way, bro. If I were to tell you, Zeki, that I have $10 billion, quit your job and follow me to Bahamas, you're probably not gonna do that. Because I haven't shown you that. Hold on, wait. Zeki, wait, listen, bro. If I were to tell you that I have $10 billion in the Bahamas, quit your job and follow me there, abandon your family, and follow me to the Bahamas where you can enjoy my $10 billion, you're not going to do that. Because you don't sound like you don't sound like a gullible person. So you're probably not gonna do that. Are you gonna is it gonna be fair for me to say that you're arrogant because you don't believe my unsubstantiated claim? No, this is not about arrogance, bro. It's the fact that the claim that you're making is not substantiated. You haven't proven it. You haven't given me evidence. Therefore, I don't believe it. It's not about arrogance. You just haven't proved your claim.
There is evidence.
What is it?
It's the world around you.
It's not evidence because the world can be explained through natural means. It doesn't have to be supernatural.
Time and space isn't nature. They are beyond nature.
How do you know that?
How do you explain the existence of those?
The existence of time and space? I can't. I'm not an astrophysicist.
Exactly. So you can't.
That's God the gaps, bro.
Is the reason.
That's God the gaps, bro.
That's the God Allah.
Is God of the gaps, though?
Each one called it a different name.
Listen. When I say God the gaps, I mean that there's a gap in our knowledge and you're just filling it with a God.
Yes, exactly. That is faith.
Right. What I'm saying is that that's no reason to do that.
And you have no explanations for. Mm-hmm. You have to use your intuition and logic. Your intuition and logic will say that for something, let's say it's not who, it's an it. For it to make it, it needs to be a higher entity. And for you not to submit to this higher entity is arrogance.
No, I mean that's not the case though, because my intuition doesn't say that it's a higher entity. My intuition says that it's my ass.
Exactly. This is the like the manifestation of arrogance.
No,
This
it's
is what
not.
Satan said.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not at all. Because I'm just showing you what how ridiculous it sounds, right? You're saying that your intuition is going to lead you to a higher power, but not necessarily. Because my intuition doesn't lead me there. Your intuition leads you there because you've been biased into this already. You were born in a certain culture that says this is true. But what about people who are what about people who are born into culture that doesn't push
I'm not
that
talking about
be
religion.
You just said Allah, which is Islam. That's religion.
Yeah, that's what I think the God of the gaps is.
Right, but the thing is that there might not be any gaps. That's what I'm trying to say. We just don't have the knowledge yet to show that what you're saying. Hold on, we just don't have the knowledge yet to show that what you're saying is true. That doesn't mean we just don't have the knowledge yet to answer your question. But that doesn't mean that your conclusion is necessarily true. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's not arrogance to say that your answers, because you don't have evidence for it, I reject your answer. That's not arrogance. That's saying that you haven't shown what you're saying is true, so I'm not going to accept it.
Exactly. And you said it before. You said, even if you gave me the proof, even if God manifested, I don't need to follow him. Right. I have free will.
Right. So the question, so the answer then becomes, the question then becomes, why not just show himself?
Yes, you said it. Even if he show himself, you have free will. You cannot. You can choose not to follow him.
I can choose not to follow him. Correct, but that doesn't. But the question of whether or not he exists will then be settled, wouldn't it? He definitely exists.
But the problem here isn't about proving his existence. It's about believing in him. Believing in him requires submission. I'm gonna give you an example. Satan knew God existed and was even talking to him, and he refused to submit to him. God replied that you, Satan, you are no longer a believer. Fall down from heaven. So the requirement for a belief is submission and the knowledge of the existence of God.
But you're still running into several problems, because number one, within that story, Satan already knew God existed. So there was no reason for any type of faith at all. Here on earth, we still have no evidence that this is true, that God exists. So there is no, hold on. Listen, bro, listen. You just gave the story. Within that story, Satan knew God existed. He's seeing the every day. So he knew God existed. We don't. We're not seeing him every day. You're simply saying, look around. Trust me, bro. It's not good enough, bro. Because the same reason that you gave for that, I give the same reason for Odumare. Like, for example, I'm a black man, right? Right or wrong?
I think you don't understand what I was saying.
Of course I don't.
Can I please to say it again?
Go ahead.
He knew God existed, and still he wasn't a believer. So even if we prove God, it's not the problem. The problem is that we need to believe in God, not that we need to know him.
When you say he wasn't, when you say he wasn't a believer, what do you mean by that? Because if he knows that, bro, just stop interrupting. When you say that he didn't believe in him, what exactly do you mean by that? Because he's literally with the guy every single day. So how can you, because belief is being convinced of something. It's being convinced. How can you be with someone every day and not be convinced that they're real? That sounds stupid. What are we saying here?
So to believe something is to know it, and know its how do we say it? Its rank in accordance to you. If you believe that God exists, let me finish. If you believe God exists and you saw him, but you say that he is beneath you, then you don't believe.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to Isaiah. Isaiah over on my I was getting tired of that. Isaiah over on my StreamYard. How's it going, Isaiah? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm over 18. We can talk about both of them.
All right, cool. Let's start with number one because we haven't done that yet all night. All right, cool. So I believe that leftist policies are better for society. Just to let you know, I do have one person on TikTok with me right now. You're gonna talk to me for a few minutes, and they may want to chime in the next after about 5 minutes, after about 10 minutes. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that's fine. I gotta
cool.
go
Not a
soon.
problem. All right, cool. Not a problem. All right, cool. So I think leftist policies are better for society, and the policies that I typically push and talk about are, of course, freedom from religion, freedom of expression, freedom to do with what you like with your own body. That includes abortion as well. I do also believe in single-payer healthcare. I believe in things like.
Would it be possible? Would it be possible to start with number two? Because I just want to know real quick. Did you used to be religious, or did you learn religion and you found out that like it's all full of crap? Or
correct?
Okay. Well, they kind of go together, and you sound like a very smart guy. I appreciate the fact that you're not programmed or like religious people, but I do agree that people should believe in God's policies. Like, it's kind of hard to explain God. Nobody really explains it correctly. You have Christians, their interpretation, Jews and Muslims. But as far as the policies, I believe that you sound like a good person, and you've learned the basics, how to be a good person, the policies of God, the 10 Commandments. I believe a majority of leftists also have learned this, but somewhere along their religious journey, it's to be honest, a lot of it is a bunch of BS. So people leave it. Some people go to self-destruction, which I don't believe. So I do believe people should follow some kind of policies of God. And I don't really know much about leftists to, but if you are a leftist,
when you say policies of God, what does that mean?
Just like the being a good person. Like, to me, religion is just being a good person. Like, the whole Jewish Bible is about God just trying to talk to his people, say, hey, don't fall astray, don't do what these people are doing, just be good people. And it's really just about
go ahead. So yeah, being a good person, doesn't really require a God at all, right? So just like how you said, so yeah, I think most people would like to be, would like to get along with their neighbors, right? No, unless you're a complete total psychopath, no one goes around antagonizing people for the hell of it, right? So unless you were brainwashed into doing so. So like that which is why, like, one of the reasons why I kind of gave up believing in a God, because I figured out that I don't need that to be a good person. Like, those things are kind of, morality and religion are kind of separate, like someone who just said on my TikTok live. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't see the reason to need it. But when it comes to, because you said they kind of connect, because when it comes to these things, right, leftists believe that like the church, like religion and governance should be separate, of course. And when it comes to conservatives in America, they don't seem to believe that. I'm not sure how it is over in the UK. You sound like you're from America, but like over in other countries, I think our closest counterpart is probably Canada and the UK. Doesn't seem like the conservatives there wanted. And same thing here in America. Doesn't seem that that's what they're pushing for. A lot of them are, especially in our government right now, are Christian nationalists. And leaning towards theocracy always leads towards massive human rights abuses. You see what I'm saying? So we're kind of against that. We're more about people being free to do what they like, as long as they don't hurt anybody else, doing what they like to do with their own body. Single payer healthcare, guaranteed housing, universal basic income, things like that.
Yeah. Right now it's the Jews versus Muslims, or American Christians versus Muslims. I truly believe that the Jewish religion has been diluted. I recently just learned that the Islam religion is completely different than what is portrayed. So that religion has also been diluted.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not really getting the right Islam. And I personally don't have a problem with Islam. only, of course, the extremists, or and that's with any religion. The Jews,
Agreed.
Christians who don't explain Christianity correctly. But I do believe. I believe something has to happen, and if you are a leftist, you sound pretty intelligent, brother, for being a leftist. You sound like somebody who could get along, and even the leftists have been deluded. Like, you don't seem like these leftists we're seeing on the media. A lot of them are extremists, and those are people that even a religious person or even possibly yourself wouldn't want to be next to, because it sounds like you practice just, basic common sense, other than, like, let's not get into religious beliefs, but it sounds like you are different from a normal leftist. Is that safe to say?
I'm actually pretty much how leftists are. I think what happens is I'm pretty sure you know this as well. Most medias have an agenda, so of course they're gonna show you the shouting crazy person, right? But if you just talk to a regular leftist on the street, they're gonna be your regular normal guy.
Okay, so with that being, because that's a good point. Because I don't really understand leftists. I know Democrats when they were kind of normal, like it was cool to be Democrat, but then all of a sudden, I don't know if it's just the new generation, but these extremists, I see them more as young kids who are hired to protest, and I feel like they're not really giving the leftists the right identity. They've come in and infiltrated and created, I don't see you as that. So yeah, I mean, it is safe to say that we are learning people as leftists, as these crazy people, but it's also safe to say that people are learning, because I would label myself a right wing, but I don't have a problem with like open religion or open sexuality. I do have a problem with teaching kids stuff like that, like sexuality stuff. But as far as like religion, I just look at it as basic principles, like be a good person, follow the 10 commandments. And we don't have to go into the extremities of like Old Testament, what happened and all that. But I do agree that
I think that's where the tension comes in, right? Because this has always been a conversation between the right and the left when it comes to these social issues, right? Because right now the social hot point is transgender people. That's the social hot point. Back in the 90s, I'm not sure what year you were born, but I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. The social hot point, everything that they're saying about transgender people today, they're crazy, they're groomers, et cetera, that was said about gay people back in the 2000s, the 90s, and the 80s. And before them, it was integration. Back in the 50s and the 60s, integrating black students with white students, it was the same thing. These people are unfit to be in the schools. It's communism. It's crazy. It's grooming the kids, et cetera, et cetera. So it's always a social hot point. Like back then, they moved on from integration. They didn't move to gay people. Then they moved on from gay people. Now it's to trans people. After that, they're gonna move on to something else. You see what I'm saying? So it's always one of those social hot points. When it comes to transgender people, for example, I understand because of the internet, these things have moved extremely fast. Right, it moves very, very fast. So a lot of people aren't able to. It gives a lot of people whiplash, basically. Like I call it digital whiplash, because it's moving very, very fast and it's hard to understand. So I do give grace, but we should try to understand what's happening, because a lot of the stories that I hear about, the trans people grooming the kids, all that is BS. You know what I'm saying? What they're teaching in the schools is simply these people exist and respect them as a human. And that's literally it. All things that you're hearing about, kids, them being told that, 6-year-old boys can chop off their pee-pee, about, girls identifying as a cat and having a litter box in the class. None of that shit is true. Like, none of it. You see what I'm saying? But the talking heads take these little rumors on 4chan and the internet and they blow them up, and then no one knows what's true anymore. You see what I'm saying? Until we have these type of conversations where we realize that a lot of the that we've been hearing aren't really true like that. You see what I mean, Isaiah?
Yeah, I agree. The news does pick stories, and glorifies the extremity of it. Absolutely, I do agree with that. I was going to say something, if I may. as a religious person, I almost find myself kind of like more like someone like you, like atheist or whatever. It's almost like talking to people like you guys, because there are a lot of programmed religious people. Like when I talk to certain Christians or Jews, it's like, dude, it's like you're because I know a lot about the Jewish religion and all that, and I don't think that what's being taught today is the actual Jewish religion. I think the Talmud and the rabbis, but I'm not going to get into anti-Semitism because that's their own beliefs. If we want to talk about open religion, then sure, let them be what they are. But when you talk to people like that, a lot of religious people, they do want to correct you with scripture and stuff like that. And talking to people like yourself, like atheists who are like, no, that's BS. I find it more not entertaining, or just it's almost like I could almost get along more with people who aren't as programmed. So whatever that means, but
no, I
just wanted to say, like, I've been kind of watching you, but I don't compare you to left, because there's other people who do these live streams, and it's like, dude, you are like far out. They got the nose ring, and I don't care if you got a nose, I don't care, but the weird hair and their sexuality, it's like fine. And in the 80s, of course, gays was a lot different. Like, yeah, there was gay people, but they weren't like as vocal about it as now, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe
they were a little bit more quiet back then. Back in the late 70s and 80s, you know what happened, the whole AIDS epidemic. So it was really like contentious for a gay person to come out back then. And then, the shock of the 80s AIDS epidemic leaning into the 90s. Of course, you had the social backlash of, people believing that being LGBTQ was wrong, stuff like that. So yeah, those type of things like did happen, right? And it's one of those things where, you look back on it and you see the consequences and you see how that happened, but I still think it was wrong. The reason I think they're more vocal now is because of that time, because, gay people were blamed for AIDS. And then in the 90s, a lot of the social backlash because of the AIDS epidemic, a lot of them were forced back into the closet. Now they're saying that we want to come back out of the closet. I'm sorry, Isaiah. I know you want to respond to that, but someone on my TikTok does have a question for you.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
His name is Caddy. Caddy, go ahead, please.
So one of the things I think, and I'm sorry to say this, but I think Abrahamics do not know their own polytheistic origin roots. And that being said, Judaism is the mother of Islam and Christianity, and prior to that, there's polytheistic roots that connects with Judaism. And another thing is, when we're talking about far left, a lot of people in the Democratic Party do not know what far left is, and they're not necessarily far left. The talking heads are not far left because they don't stand up against capitalism, and they're not pro democratic socialist or pro socialist. They are mostly Bud Light Republicans in a sense. And when we're dealing with social sciences have evolved past, and rapidly, very quickly past, these indoctrinations and traditionalist values. And that's what's making the traditionalist so alarming and so upset about LGBTQ, because it doesn't match its monotheistic Abrahamic value system, which, to be honest with you, America has always been a mixing pot, and the separation between church and state has existed to make America pluralistic. So it's a pluralistic society with many different religions and spiritualities. So my question to you is, why must, in these United States, why must we even hold up these sort of old traditionalist values and not adhere to the new social sciences that are showing real science contrary to these traditionalist values? And when we look at history itself, indigenous spirituality was very fluid. So the whole conversation around the construction of gender and the construction of race is very much a mental construct created by the European colonizer. And that's just facts.
What do you think about that, Isaiah?
Yeah, repeat your question one more time, because it was a really good question.
Damn.
Yeah, I know it was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah.
No, you said here's what I'll say. I agree because I lean more towards Judaism, but I don't follow the rabbis or Talmud. I just follow the principles of God, and I am upset with Judaism, and that's why I hold Jews a little bit more higher because of what you said. It's the mother of Islam and Christianity. Like Christians, I find myself getting along more with Christians than I do Jews because Christians are just a little bit more openly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can I ask for a little bit of a clarification? When you say that, when you talk about Judaism, are you talking about like the state of Israel or like the religion? Or kind of both.
The state of Israel is a whole different.
It's a quagmire. Yeah, we're not gonna get through that today.
And here's the thing: is as I've learned Judaism, it's like, you know what, I want to convert, and then I go into it, and it's like, what? This is not.
What
and then I find out. Then I find out, but it's like it almost turns me atheist. But the good thing about not completely going atheist, I guess, is just really I just use it for self-improvement. And I understand that the religion of Judaism, and I don't like to talk about Jews because I don't want to be anti-Semitic or whatever, because I do stick up for them a lot. But when somebody goes into valid points like, you know, the Jews own a lot of porn sites, and they're a lot of them aren't following the Abrahamic religion.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, why am I sticking up? Why am I sticking up for this?
Well, hold on. Judaism has pre-roots with indigenous spirituality of the Middle East. You got the thing. My main hang up with Abrahamic monotheism is it doesn't acknowledge how it comes out of polytheism, and doesn't want to acknowledge how some of those polytheistic aspects are still within the faith themselves. What do you say to that?
Yeah, that was along the line of your question. You mentioned, why should we uphold the Abrahamic religions as opposed to the new science, I believe you said.
Well, it's basically what he's saying is that Abrahamic religion, it has a polytheistic like roots, right? Like
real quick, just before I forget, because that is a good point. So if it is like, okay, so let us learn from you guys. But it could be that there is not really a foundation in that yet, because a lot of people representing these beliefs are extremists. To be honest, a lot of people don't know there are leftists who are normal like you. Like, we see leftists and we see gay, and there's nothing wrong with gay, but we see people like this dude who assassinated Charlie Kirk. I remember there was a live stream like this right after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, and it was a transgender man. It looked like a woman, but it was a man. And he was saying, like, no, we don't believe in this stuff. This is absolutely crazy. And even though I don't usually watch these kind of things, but it was just, I wanted to listen to his point because it was a valid point. Because you have these young extreme transgenders who are killing people just because they don't agree with them politically. And then you have this man who's a transgender who's like, no, be a good person. If you're gay, you're gay. So there probably isn't enough foundation into this new scientific way of life, which the brother who asked that question, that's a valid point. The indigenous people, self-improvement. You know, we religious people, we have the book of Psalms and whatnot, Proverbs. But
sir, you're not understanding. Out of Middle Eastern polytheism formulates monotheism, and monotheism religion has polytheistic influences. And though you've changed everything to be symbolic,
what are you referring to when you say polytheism?
I'm referring to the fact that Yahweh, a southern Egyptian, not Egyptian area nomad. Hold on, the Yahweh, a nomad.
I've heard the conspiracies about Yahweh.
It's not conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. It's not conspiracy.
Yeah. So
Yahweh.
I'm sorry, Kat. Yeah. So Yahweh actually was a storm and war deity of the ancient Canaanites. But go ahead, Caddy. Go ahead.
But I think that's
Yahweh is a natural storm, and yeah, exactly. And later on, Judaism picks that up. You understand? And formulates a monotheism.
We don't know.
Sorry,
or do you want me? Okay, let me just explain it. So Yahweh was a storm god, But it was a long time ago when people were like, yo, there's a storm god. He's just like, he's talking to people, and if they don't listen, this is what happens. So, yeah, I mean, it came from that, but there's an origin.
You don't understand. Wait.
Everybody pause. I do apologize, but we're kind of out of time, and I got to move on to the next guest. But Isaiah, definitely come back tomorrow, because we're gonna do this again tomorrow. All right.
I appreciate you guys.
No problem. Drop me a sub and come back tomorrow. And Caddy, I'll have you talk to him tomorrow. Okay. Sound good?
No problem, man.
Right. Hey, I appreciate you, Isaiah. Come back tomorrow. All right. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and talk to Yap House first, and then we're gonna talk to Johnny. And then I think Johnny will probably be my last guest. I think that'll be it for tonight. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Ooh, do apologize. Sorry about that, y'all. I've been drinking a lot of water tonight. All right, y'all. So if you're watching me from Deconstruction Junction, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much over on Deconstruction Junction. Keep the chat going. You guys are amazing. You guys are wonderful. Keep on subscribing. I thank y'all so much. If you watch me over on my channel, Volcy Thoughts, thank y'all so much for being here. You can talk about number 1 or number 2. It's been a number 2 night for the most of the night. I don't know why, but we'll go ahead and keep it moving, keep it rolling. And if you're watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition, once again, you can talk about number 1, number 2. I appreciate you watching me over there. Thank y'all so much. For the Hindi user on my Black Atheist Coalition, I don't know what your actual name is because I can't read Sanskrit. So I don't know what your actual name is, but thank you so much for always being here and supporting me. I appreciate y'all. We are going to talk to, the other person dropped. We're going to talk to Yap, and then we have Muslim. But Yap, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1 or number 2?
Howdy. Yeah, I'm at least 18, and I could talk about either.
All right. Cool.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to me, man. My bad.
Oh no, not you, Orthodox. I got.
He can go first if he wants. I can be the last guest. I don't mind.
All right, cool. Not a problem. Orthodox, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about number 1, number 2?
I'm definitely over 18, brother, and I want to talk about number 2, man.
All right, cool. Number 2. Why do you think I should believe in a God?
I think that God, the theistic hypothesis, is the best explanation of the observable world.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
Yeah, that's the case because of something called in academia and philosophy psychophysical harmony. Have you heard of it before?
Oh yeah, I keep hearing about this a lot. Here's the thing. I don't see how that leads us to a God, because all that's saying is that our experiences are coming from a physical state, and we can't harmonize that. But I don't think that means that doesn't necessarily mean that a God exists. I'm not sure how we get there.
So the argument isn't proving that there is a personal being called the God of Israel or the God of Islam. The argument is merely an inference to the best possible explanation, given 2 hypotheses. So the theistic hypothesis and the atheistic hypothesis. And given this observation of psychophysical harmony, the theistic hypothesis has higher explanatory scope. Therefore, it's preferred over the atheistic hypothesis.
I don't think it does, because the theistic hypothesis is simply saying, God, trust me, bro. The atheistic one is simply saying that this could have to do something more with survival.
No, it's not. It's not saying God. No, it's not saying God. That's not how it works. So you have 2 hypotheses. You have the hypothesis that there is a God who harmonized physical experience with psychological experience. That's not surprising under the existence of a God. Then you have the atheistic hypothesis, and you would have to say this is brute or arbitrary, and that would be surprising under that hypothesis. So then the theistic hypothesis explains the data more than the atheistic hypothesis. You have an issue with that?
Yeah, because it doesn't. Like when you said
how does it not?
You said it would just simply be surprising. What do you mean to be surprising? Because if evolution is true, then that would mean that everything that happens like to our minds is more conducive for survival. That's what all the data shows, right? So that would mean that the psycho thing that you're talking about, right? If that could be explained through evolution, then that would mean that this happened because of something that helped us survive. No, and when you say that it can't, when you say it can't explain it, I would need to know why you would think that, or
Okay,
maybe
I'll
I'm
tell
not
you why.
understanding it correctly.
So evolution can't explain psychophysical harmony, because all evolution can explain is that humans have developed and have adapted over a long period of time such that they have adapted to survive. Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't actually explain the harmony. The harmony states that humans have a psychological experience and have a physical experience. So for example, if you put your hand to the fire, your physical bodily biological reaction is that it'll send a signal to your brain, and you'll remove your hand right away, right? So that could be explained biologically and by adaptation, no problem. But there's also a distinct experience, that is, when you put your hand to the fire, you have a conscious experience of feeling bad, of feeling displeasure, or feeling pain. So is there a possible world where you feel good and you feel pleasure when you put your hand to the fire?
I don't.
Is that logically possible?
I don't know, because we only live in this. We only live in this world. So ask me about another hypothetical world.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just finish.
Right.
We only live in this world, right, where feeling that pain causes harm. So me is if it's illogical for another world where it feels good. I'm not even sure how to explain that. We don't live in any other world. So it's like, this is the only world where we live in where feeling that harm, where when we touch that fire, we feel harm, right? But the thing is, you said that this wouldn't be explained by evolution, but it would be, because if we didn't feel pain, we would die. As a matter of fact, there's people right now today who don't feel pain. And because they don't feel pain, they get infections, they get bruises, they get broken arms and fingers, that get sepsis. That happens all the time. So feeling pain is conducive to our survival. So if you're saying that this doesn't explain psychophysical thing, it's not explained through evolution, literally is, because if we didn't have that, we would die.
So you're not addressing my point. And just to address your point first, you said you can't think about possible. I don't know if you know about modal logic and modal semantics. Okay. But when you say there's a possible world, all we're saying is that something is possible to be actualized. So for example, in this world, I don't have $1 million. Is it possible for me to have $1 million? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
It's logically possible. Is it logically possible right now for, let's say, for me, is there a possible world where I don't exist?
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
It's logically possible. So then you can think about other worlds. There's no issue. So then what I asked you is it logically possible for there to have been a world where a human being puts his hand in the fire and feels good instead of bad?
Oh, yeah.
And remember,
sure.
Okay, good. So why is it the case that when you put your hand to the fire, or when you're in a place of danger, or somebody's cutting you up into pieces, all of these situations, every situation you could think of, the conscious feeling you have is harmonized with the physical feeling you have, so much almost as if it's lucky for human survival?
But the thing is, like, that's the thing. Because those who like, for example, I'm tell you let me explain it this way. I'm not sure if it's a type 1 error or a type 2 error, but what you're talking about, right? Everything that you're talking about, it literally can be explained through evolution, because I'm not sure if it's type 1 or type 2. It can, because again,
evolution only
you're not
experience.
letting me finish.
Yeah.
That conscious state of feeling bad, if we felt good about pain, sometime like we would not survive for very long, would we?
That's my point. That's my point.
That's what I'm saying. But that's my that's my point. If we felt good, if something like pain, like, you know, cutting our hand off, felt good, we would not survive for very long.
That's my point.
Right. So evolution does explain this, because if evolution is built, hold on, wait, I'm explaining. If evolution is geared towards survival, then things that make us not survive are not going to feel good.
Brother, you're not getting the point. Evolution,
I'm definitely not.
I know you're not. evolution presupposes psychophysical harmony. Okay? So all evolution actually explains is our physical experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I put my hand to the fire, there is a natural bodily reaction where my brain tells me to move it away. That could still be the case, and I feel good consciously. There's a conscious experience.
No, that won't be possible. That won't be possible because that won't be possible. Because it won't be possible because it felt good. If it felt good, hold on. If it felt good, you would not move your hand away because
that doesn't follow.
That does follow. That does follow.
What? I just told you.
Why would you move away if it felt good?
Because your body sends a signal to your brain.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about the conscious experience, not the bodily experience. There's a bodily experience.
Okay.
Where your body tells your hand move, so you move. Okay, that's the biological experience.
But you're talking about the conscious experience about pain.
There's a conscious experience
of pain, right?
Forget even the word pain. Let's call it good and bad. Why does that feel bad instead of good?
Because we won't survive. That's the thing. If it felt good, we wouldn't survive. People would be walking into fires all the time.
And why wouldn't we survive?
Hold on. Don't talk over me, please. We would not survive. We would not survive if things like fire, if lighting our bodies on fire felt good, because we don't survive with our bodies being lit on fire.
Why?
Because we can't survive our bodies being on fire, bro. We don't survive.
Why? Just what?
What do you mean? Why we don't survive that? Hold on.
Yes.
Slow down. I'm trying to understand your question because you're going to mile me. I'm trying to understand your question.
Yeah.
Are you asking me why don't we survive with our bodies being on fire, or why it doesn't feel good for our bodies being on fire?
No, that's not what I asked.
Okay, hold on. My guy. Slow down first. I didn't finish the question. Listen to my whole question. I'm trying to track what you're trying to ask me. Are you asking me why do we not survive our bodies being on fire, or why does it not feel good for our bodies to be on fire? Which one are you asking?
I said you already agreed it feels bad, and hence we remove our hand and it feels bad. I asked you, is it possible, logically possible, that it would have felt good? You said it's logically impossible. What's the P and not P?
Is it logically possible for it to feel? No. It's logically possible for it to feel good. What I'm saying is that your scenario where our body tells us to move it away, but it still feels good. That's not possible.
It's not logically possible.
That's not logically possible. That's what I'm saying. That's the P not P. That's the P not P.
You just bro. Just said it's logic.
The physical reaction. If we have a physical reaction, it has to connect to our consciousness.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. So there's psychophysical harmony, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Why is there psychophysical harmony other than not?
Because it helps us survive. That's literally the reason.
Beautiful. And what explains that? That
evolution
is. How does
evolution is? Hold on. You just agree with me. Wait. You just agree with me. You just agree with me. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not done, brother. I'm not done. Stop panicking. You can't just scream evolution and think everything is explained.
Okay, you just said exactly. But okay, go ahead.
You just said evolution. Okay. Can you explain to me how evolution has anything to do with a psychological experience?
Survival.
Survival has to do with a biological experience. That is to say, let me.
But psychological experiences also help us survive, my guy.
I know they help us survive, but evolution doesn't explain psychology. Evolution doesn't explain how our conscious experience, because you just said it's logically possible for our conscious experience to not align. It's possible, but it's not. Why?
We've seen that all the time.
Okay, good. So now I'm asking you, evolution explains why my body tells me to move. My brain tells me to move. Okay. How does evolution explain why it feels bad?
Because if we don't have that pain of feeling bad, we do not survive. If all of us, hold on, you're still, hold on, wait.
My point.
I'm still no. That what I'm saying is I think we're saying the exact same thing from different perspectives.
No,
what I'm saying,
yes,
we are. We're from you simply you just said that's your point. If that's your point, then we're saying the same thing from different perspectives. What I'm saying is that hold on. I'll let you go.
Finish. Yes, finish.
What I'm trying to say is that yes, evolution does explain our psychological states. There's literally an entire field of study on it called not psychological evolution. It's something like, is it psychological evolution? I'm gonna look it up again. But there's literally a whole field of study on it, right? But what I'm trying to say is this. If we never got that conscious experience, that psychological experience of pain, like I said before, if we never got that experience of pain, then many of us would not survive. We need to feel that. Hold on, I know that's your point. We need to feel that, and your action is. Hold on, your question is, if from what I understood, if we need to feel that, where does that come from? And I keep saying the same thing. Evolution explains that. It helps us survive.
Okay, you keep saying evolution explains it. The potato sky daddy explains it. But how does he explain it? Oh, because he explains it. This is circular and it's begging the question.
I'm not an evolutionary biologist, so like you have to.
Finish, brother. Let me finish.
I'll give you that.
I'm not done, brother.
Go ahead.
You said evolution explains it. If you're saying evolution explains it, then you must understand the mechanism by which it explains it. You can't just say it explains it, but I don't know how. And that just refutes. You're just self-refuting them because you're positing an explanation that you don't even understand. So I'm asking you, brother, if evolution can explain a conscious experience, then please demonstrate how that is. How does evolution explain a conscious experience? I already grant you that explains the physical experience, and it's possible that you put your hand to the fire, you remove it, because evolution, we developed, we adapted, we learned, fine, that's fine. But what about the conscious feeling? Why is it that when you put your hand to the fire, it feels bad instead of feeling good? We agree it's set up in such a way, it's harmonized in such a way that is almost lucky and convenient for human existence. Okay, that's my argument. So then what explains it being set up that way instead of set up in a different way?
Okay, because I say the same thing. Like, for example, it's set up in that way physically, right? Because our physical bodies need to survive. I think evolution also explains it psychologically, because if we didn't have that feeling, right? If we never had any type of feelings for if we didn't have that that feeling, right, of the like the badness, the pain, if we didn't feel pain, like I said before, there are people alive today who do not feel pain at all, and those people always get infections, or they're very susceptible to disease. Hold on. They get infections, or they're susceptible to disease. So those traits. Hold on, wait, let me finish. The trait of not feeling pain, of being susceptible to disease, because remember, if you don't feel pain, you'll be susceptible to disease, and you'll be more likely to break your bones, and you'll be more likely to pass away, right? Because you don't feel pain. Because over time, what evolution tends to do is that they tend to eliminate those type of traits over time, which is why, like, you see how I wear glasses. Most people don't wear glasses because evolution selected for us to have better vision. That's why most people do not wear glasses. It's the same thing with not having pain. Most people feel pain, and that had to happen because it's conducive to survival. The same way that of not having that feeling of it pulling back. The same way of it if it felt good. If it felt good, it wouldn't be conducive to our survival. So evolution selected for pain instead of selecting the other way, because it was you're more likely to survive if you felt pain than if you didn't.
Okay, so again, brother, you keep begging the question. You keep telling me, oh, it's set up that way because it's convenient for human survival. But you're just repeating.
No, I said it was selected for.
Let me finish. So somebody selected it?
No, no, I say somebody selected it.
Okay,
remember, natural selection. Remember, natural. That's not begging the question. Natural selection is one to.
Brother, come on, you keep
natural selection. Hold on. I just want to correct something. I just want to correct something. Orthodox. I just want to correct something. Orthodox. I just want to correct something. Hold on. I'm gonna let you go.
Bro,
when I said orthodox, I'm gonna correct you. I'm just gonna correct something. I'm gonna let you go. I'm just clarify something. Let me just clarify something. When I say selected for, I didn't mean like somebody out there selected for it. I'm talking about natural selection. That's what I'm talking
brother.
about. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So again, it's begging the question. You keep saying the explanation for this perfect harmony is evolution. Well, how does it explain it? Oh, evolution. You're not telling us how it explains it. Now, here's a different argument as to why. Even then, it wouldn't work. You want to know why? Because evolution presupposes psychophysical harmony. Had it been the case, imagine this. Had it been the case that putting your hand in the fire and your body moving it, and it feels good, wouldn't humans have evolved in understanding that feeling good is to stay away from?
Say that again.
Brother, look.
No, I didn't understand your question. I didn't hear you.
Okay.
Say that again.
If it had been the case that putting your hand in the fire felt good, wouldn't humans have evolved around that very observation?
Like putting your hand in the fire felt good. Would we have selected for that if it?
Therefore, stay away from it?
If we had selected for that, hold on, wait. Let me try to understand what you mean. You said,
you see, brother, you got
no, wait, hold on, because I'm trying to understand your question. Hold on, I'm trying to understand your question.
All right.
So if putting our hands to the fire felt good, would humans have selected for that?
Mm-hmm.
Only if it helped us survive.
Only if it helped you survive?
Yeah, because remember, evolution is not begging the question. It's not begging the question. It's not begging the question because does evolution help us survive or not? Is evolution is evolution geared towards survival? Hold on, my question. If evolution is evolution geared towards survival or not? Because you said it was begging the question, but it's not. Hold on, you asked me an evolutionary question. You asked me an evolutionary question, and then don't want me to answer it. You asked me, could we have selected for that if it felt good? And the answer is if it was conducive to our survival, because that's what evolution selects for.
And why isn't it conducive for our survival?
Because our bodies can't survive it.
Why not?
Our bodies weren't built that way. I don't know. We can't survive fires.
Our body still pulls away from the fire.
Yeah, it pulls away from the fire
why can't we survive?
Because our bodies can't survive fire. What are you asking?
Brother, the body still pulls away from the fire whether it feels good or bad.
Yeah.
All right. So why can't we survive?
Because our bodies can't survive fire. I'm not sure what you're asking here.
Are you a bot? Are you acting like you don't understand language?
No, I really don't understand what you're asking.
I
don't understand what you're asking.
Okay.
What are you asking?
Okay. The body still naturally moves away from the fire, but the experience is good. Why can't we survive that?
Oh, okay. Because if our body still naturally pulls away, our body pulls away from the fire, but it feels good, right? The thing is, if that was selected for, more people will still put their hands into the fire. Like that's less survivability than if it feels bad, basically.
Okay, good. So then evolution presupposes the harmony, right?
No, it selects for pain.
Okay, brother, just pay attention. Does the psychophysical harmony predate the evolutionary process?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay.
I don't know. Like you asked me the question. I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know.
So look, there's humans, and they come to the fire. And they realize the body moves away and it feels bad, right? And then they evolve, and there's a process of evolution, and there's now a common understanding that if I approach that fire, I will feel bad, right?
Okay. So these things likely emerge at the same time. Then, if the way that you're explaining it, these are like I'm kind of getting what you mean. When it comes to that, right? I don't think they predate each other. They probably happen around the same time.
So how did
like convergent?
So now you just threw evolution out.
No, I didn't.
What did humans evolve on then? Now you just saying evolution is pointless now.
No, I didn't say that.
The whole point
I didn't
of
say that.
evolution,
Orthodox, I didn't say
brother,
that.
brother. The whole point of evolution is to say humans are when humans approach fire. One day humans approach fire, and humans realize the fire bad. Stay away from fire, and they realize that their bodies protect them from the fire, right? And so now this becomes common knowledge, and this is kind of like passed on as a general experience or a common experience. Okay, so they know that, okay, if I approach the fire, my body will hurt and I will not feel good, right? I will feel bad. So that is prior to the evolutionary process.
No,
that's why evolution.
No, it's during.
How is it during?
It's during.
What are you talking about?
Because we remember we evolved from prior organisms, right? Meaning because you just said that as humans approach fire bad. But remember, evolution is not just like evolution is a spectrum, right? It doesn't just like
did humans
stop
ever start feeling? Did humans go from feeling good to feeling bad, or have they always felt bad?
It's likely we always felt that way because human control of fire happened like what, like 400,000 years ago.
Good. So humans always felt that way, and every organism that is conscious always felt that way, right?
Likely.
Okay. So go back to the very first organism; it felt that way, right?
No. The very first organism, like the single cell organisms.
No.
The single cells didn't have. The conscious organisms.
The conscious organism. Yes.
We wouldn't know. Because like we wouldn't really know.
Conscious.
Because
okay, so we went from feeling good to feeling
no, that's
bad.
not what I said. That's not what I said. I said the question that you're asking that we can't really answer it because the first
what
conscious.
Do you mean you can't, brother? What?
I'm trying to answer you, bro. Listen. Because you asked me about the first conscious. Hold on, bro. You asked me about the first conscious organisms. We don't really know. You see what I'm saying? So because like
you don't know if they felt bad.
We don't really know. That's the thing. Like, hold on. Can I just answer your question? When it comes to the question that you're asking, yeah, we don't really know. We can only really know what's basically in evidence, right? Like the first conscious organisms, were they primates like us, or were they the shrews? I don't really know. We don't really know. So the question that you're asking is if something we can only kind of deduce it, right? If it was, go ahead,
brother. Just you don't even need to go back that far. The first human organism, or the first set of human human beings, did they feel bad?
Like the first sapiens? Yeah. I mean, yeah, our ancestors. Yeah, sure, they felt bad.
Okay, so that's prior to their evolutionary process, right?
No, that was during.
Oh my!
No, that was during.
When you have the first brother.
Because I asked you Homo sapiens, right?
Yes, I said the first set of human beings, whatever they may be.
Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, whatever they may be.
Homo, Neanderthal, whatever it may be.
During. That's during. That's not prior. That's
human
during.
Being. Okay, now watch this. So the first set of human beings, when the first human ever approached a fire, did he feel bad?
Yeah, it was during. That's what I'm saying.
He felt. So where's the evolution? If the first human ever to approach a fire didn't felt bad,
you realize you realize that evolution is not a ladder, correct? Hold on.
Did he evolve to feel bad?
Hold on. Orthodox.
Orthodox.
You're not understanding evolution. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of evolution. It's not a ladder. Hold on. Wait.
So now you understand evolution. You told me earlier you don't understand
Orthodox. What I told you earlier was that the question that you are asking, I don't have the expertise for that. That's what I said earlier.
Brother.
When I'm talking about, hold on, wait. When we talk about the first set of humans, is that prior to the evolutionary process? There is that question doesn't make any sense because evolution doesn't work that way. It's not a ladder. There is no start finish. It's not a ladder. So Homo sapiens, hold on. When you said the first set, hold on. Let me respond to what you're saying, then, though, bro. Let me respond to what you're saying. When you talk about Homo sapiens, right? Homo sapiens are not at the first point or anything like that. This is during evolution. We're still evolving now today. We're still evolving, bro.
Brother,
So it's
brother,
not.
brother.
So it's not something that was prior or
Brother,
after.
brother,
This
brother,
is during.
brother,
Brother.
Okay,
This is not first or after. This is not prior or after.
Now
That's why
now
question
watch
doesn't
this.
make any sense.
Okay, brother.
Your question
okay.
doesn't make any sense because it's
All
not
right, can you stop
prior.
cutting
This
me
is
off?
during.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Watch how you refuted yourself. Okay, look. When I asked you why do humans feel bad, you said evolution, meaning they evolved to that
Yes.
point, right? To feel bad.
Yes, we
Did they
evolved.
evolve to feel bad, or they always felt bad?
We evolved.
Okay, so they went from not feeling bad to feeling bad.
That's not what I said.
Okay, so they didn't evolve to feel bad.
What do you mean didn't evolve to feel bad? What does that mean?
Did they evolve to now feel bad, or did they not evolve to feel bad?
Did we evolve to feel pain? Yes, we evolved to feel pain.
Okay, so then before we didn't feel bad.
That's not what I said.
Oh my God! So did they evolve to now feel bad in order to survive?
In order to survive, we evolved pain. Yes, correct.
Okay, so then we started feeling bad so we could survive.
Yeah.
So then before, when you put your hand in the fire, you felt nothing.
Yeah, and those organisms died out.
Allahu Akbar.
And those
So
organisms
humans-
died out.
So there's
Hold on.
human-
Listen.
Human beings,
Those organisms
when they put
died
their
out.
hand to the fire, they
I didn't say human beings. I didn't say human beings. I didn't say human beings. I didn't say human beings.
They started
Orthodox.
feeling bad,
I didn't
ladies
say
and
human
gentlemen.
beings. Orthodox. I didn't say human beings. I didn't say human beings.
Yeah,
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Orthodox. That's
All
not
right.
what I said. I don't
All
think you
right, what
understand.
about human-
Can you
I'm
give me a
asking
few
about
minutes?
human
Can you give me a few
beings.
minutes? Can you give me a few minutes? Can you give me a few minutes? Give me a few minutes.
Go ahead.
Because
Go
that's not what I
ahead.
said. That's not what I said. Listen to what
Go
I'm
ahead,
saying
brother.
to you. Okay, cool. Because you asked me about human beings, Homo sapiens, right? And as we are already established, like when it comes to like sets of because evolution is a theory of population genetics. So we're talking about populations here. So when it comes to sapiens, we evolved into sapiens, right? Now, before that, did those prior organisms that we evolved from, did they feel pain? Yes, I believe so. I believe they did feel pain. Now, when you're asking about when you keep going back and back and back and back and back until you get to organisms who can't feel pain, those organisms died out. And the reason why they died out is because they couldn't feel pain. Pain is good for survival. So I didn't say humans didn't feel. Hold on, wait. I wasn't done. I didn't say humans didn't feel pain. I'm saying that the prior organisms who never felt pain, they likely went extinct because they couldn't feel pain.
Good. So then the organisms that we descended from must have felt pain.
Yeah.
All of them, all the way back.
I would say probably somewhere around maybe the Cambrian explosion, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong.
Okay. You agreed, if an organism doesn't feel pain, then it will die out.
Like a population of them. You're correct. Yeah, I agree with that.
Beautiful. Likely. So then the organisms we descended from must have all felt pain, right?
Must have all felt pain.
Good. So then the evolutionary process presupposes the pain already existing, right?
No.
Oh my God. Okay. So then there's some organisms we descend from that didn't feel pain?
No. They all died.
So the evolutionary process presupposes psychophysical harmony then?
No.
Oh my God.
Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony.
It's over, brother.
Psychophysical harmony. What I'm saying is that psychophysical harmony can also evolve. Psychophysical harmony can also evolve.
Have a good one, brother. Belt. Everybody stand belt, man. That's it.
All right, cool. All right. Let's see who's here. Oh, there was a lot of y'all requesting. Sorry about that. I didn't see y'all.
How's it going, Volcy?
How's it going, Sathan? What's up?
That guy came on a live yesterday, crashed out, said you subhuman, people, the group of people to whom he was speaking, and then left and then ran. So he does that every time. Wrote here.
Yeah, this whole psychophysical harmony thing, I'm not sure what they're getting at. Like we have to feel things in order for us to survive. What are we talking about?
Yep. They obviously don't understand the basics of evolution science. So
cool.
I guess you have a lot of reading to do. You should read about it. I have a simple argument. I think you can refute it if you are smart. But
no, hold on one second.
Not refute it. The law of identity is necessary. The law of identity is grounded in the mind. Conclusion: there is a necessary mind that grounds the law of identity. Go ahead. Show me your brain. Show me.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and talk to Yap because Yap has been here for a while. What's up, Yap?
Howdy. What's good?
I'm all right. Which one did you want to talk about? Number 1 or number 2?
Oh, I could talk about either. I do think that we agree that leftist policies are better for society, but I think that maybe you don't realize that even people that don't realize leftist policies are better for society have to exist. We have to live in the same world with them. We don't necessarily have to be in community with them, but they like, unless we're willing to just kill all of them, they're still going to be around. So I don't think that we disagree on number 1. And on as far as number 2, you should only believe in a God if you want to believe in the God.
Yeah, sure. But do you think there's good reason to? Yeah. Who's Apollo? Because Apollo dropped out. I'm not sure what happened to Apollo. But yeah, yeah, sure. Like if you want to believe in a God, you're gonna believe in a God. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, no, I do think there is a good reason to. My good reason isn't necessarily your good reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know who Apollo is. He dropped out. But your good reason is not gonna be my good reason because like testimony is evidence to you, but it's hearsay to me. You see what I'm saying? So it's not gonna your reason is like, yeah, sure, you can have your reason, right? I don't think people have personal reasons, but can you give another person a good reason? Like, for example, we're talking about leftist policies, right? we can go ahead and go around and give those good reasons. But like to believe leftist policies, like I can give you a good reason such as, single payer healthcare will get people out of medical debt, stuff like that. Those are objective reasons to support it. But if you say that, I believe in a God because, it came to me in a dream, that's not really a good reason for me. You see what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I think that we differ. One, personally, I believe that life is a dream, right? Mm-hmm. It's a good dream. I don't want to wake up from this dream, but just to say that it came to me in a dream isn't necessarily a bad reason. Ramanujan got mathematic formulas from a dream primarily, and now math has been changed forever. And why you should believe in a God nobody's going to convince you of that. You have to have the experience for yourself. It's a very personal thing. If you're ingrained from birth with an ideology, if you're raised in the Catholic Church, let's say, just for example, right, and you never question it, you're accepting other people's idea of a God. So that's not necessarily a reason why you should believe in God.
Yeah,
just because other people say so.
It's because other people say so. Exactly. Now, the thing is, I don't doubt anybody's experience, right? The question is, what do you attribute that experience to? That would be the
testimony. You said that testimony for me could be hearsay for you.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, what I'm saying is testimony for you is hearsay for me, but you should still question, like, what exactly are you attributing your experience to? Are you is your experience to like an actual God, or is it something? Could it be something else that your mind is playing tricks on you, or many other multiple reasons? They could be natural explanations. You see what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. It could be other reasons. I do think that there is an ultimate being, though. Like a penultimate being. There is a being at the beginning of time and at the end of time. One being. And that would be God. Mm-hmm. Just like all the cells in your body constitute your physical vessel, which makes you. Mm-hmm. We all constitute a physical vessel, which makes the universe, which would be God.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Sure, but it's like, how do we show that to be true?
We exist. We're existing right now.
Yeah, we exist, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the universe is some God thing, is it?
What do you think that God is?
That's what I'm asking you, because the way you explain
it's an ultimate being. It's whatever. It's what everything else is made up of.
What everything is made up of. So this hand thingy is also made up of God.
Yes, that is also a part of God.
Okay, so
the poop in your butt is a part of God. The rocks that you kick on the street are a part of God.
So
the
you see the
eggs that you
problem
crush
there, right?
are a part of God.
You see the problem there, right?
No, what's the problem?
If everything is God, that's indistinguishable from no God at all.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I don't judge people for not believing in a God. Everything being God is almost the same as nothing being God.
Nothing being God, exactly.
It really just depends on what you choose, which is why I say if you want to believe in a God, if you desire to believe in a God, then you should believe in a God. But if not, then you shouldn't believe in a God. But that is why you should believe in a God, because you want to. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to, I guess you can believe in pink dragons as well. But it's like, why would you? What does it actually do? You know what I mean? All right, Sathan, you have anything?
No, I don't think there's much to say to this. He seems hopeless.
Yeah, but like, why would you? Is because you want to, right?
I mean,
please go.
I guess, but hold on, give me 1 second. Dude in black, I'm gonna get. I'm actually got to get off really soon. Some dude.
Well, I think the dude had something he wanted to say to me real quick.
All right, sure.
Right?
Go ahead, some dude.
Am I mistaken?
No, I've got a quarrel with the first prompt. I think it's stupid.
All right, sure. Hey, yeah, but I'll see you later. All right, I appreciate you.
Oh, later.
All right. All right, some dude. Are you at least 18? And what was your issue with number 1?
Yeah, I'm 26. All of the most prominent and successful empires have been right wing. I could probably name off 100 off the top of my head.
What do you mean by right wing? Because a lot of these,
like, they were right. They leaned right. They had autocratic governments. They had right wing policies.
No, not necessarily. A lot of these civilizations existed like before our modern concepts of these things, right? So
no, there wasn't really a modern concept of this. There was sharing or not sharing, and there was liberation and no liberation. There was investment of capital and distribution of capital. There was freedom of what you spend and freedom of not what you spend. I mean, this is clear as day. Like the Roman Empire, the British Empire, the Han Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty.
So they all predate our modern concept of these things.
Does the United States predate this modern concept?
No.
Does the British Empire predate this? Does Japan, Germany, and France, United Kingdom,
all right,
South Korea?
I'm gonna need you to stop.
Singapore, Netherlands.
I'm gonna need you to stop. You gotta slow down. So our modern concepts of what conservative and liberal and leftists are, these all, like everything that you're saying, probably except for the United States and British, they predated, right? Like the matter of fact, the modern concept of what we're talking about, it came from the French Revolution. So when we bring up Rome and Imperial Japan, well, Imperial Japan will be afterwards. You're right about that. But when you bring up Rome, this is thousands of years before our modern concept of what capitalism and conservatism even is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we saying here? Not only that, like that's kind of Eurocentric. You understand that there are empires outside of Rome and the Visigoths and all that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about the Han Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty, the Qing Dynasty, the Ottoman Empire, the Achaemenid Empire, the Macedonian Empire, the Mongol Empire, the Song Dynasty, ancient Egypt, the Hittite Empire.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally there's so many empires outside of Europe who are right wing.
Correct. But what I'm saying is that these empires, when you say that they're right wing, of again, our modern concept of what's right wing.
Don't forget the caliphate.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet. When we're talking about what's right wing, our modern concept of right wing didn't really exist back then. So what are we
Oh
saying?
my God. Yeah, it did.
No, it didn't.
Real quick.
The modern concept of
Wait,
what
real
is the
quick,
modern? Hold on.
Would you say,
What is the
hold on,
modern concept of
let's
right
just, like,
wing
nip
hosts?
this in the bud. Would you say that slavery would lead to a more detrimental state of being for a society?
For society? What do you mean by that?
The people involved within the society.
Yes, the people involved in the society. Yes.
Yeah,
obviously, that's like the most simple question
so
ever.
all of the empires, more or less, I think, was excluding Japan, and no, they had slavery too. They imported, they enslaved people. Would you say that they all fail on this very core basic foundation, since they all, to some degree or the other, all subsisted on slavery?
The British Empire abolished slavery.
Absolutely, one.
So did the United States, which could also classify as an empire.
The caliphates, and that was also G-side, not just slavery and exploitation.
Yeah, they literally neutered their slaves.
So slavery is a bad thing, correct?
Yeah, for the people.
For everyone, I think.
For everyone, right?
Not for the hierarchy, not for the top 10%.
No, I would say it's bad for them too, because it dehumanizes them. It makes them less empathetic. That's bad for you as a human.
That's bad for you as a human, but not for the society.
It's bad for the society as well, because if you have a less empathetic
You're not thinking about this logically.
If you have a less empathetic society, what happens to your society?
Nothing.
No, bad things happen in your society if you're less empathetic. Every society.
Okay, let's talk about the Qing dynasty and the Mongol Empire.
They crumble. Things that are less empathetic.
Yeah, because the Roman Empire and the Mongol Empire really just crumble.
Yeah, after a
so
while,
did the United States and the Qing dynasty.
And you see it's crumbling now. The Qing dynasty also crumbled.
We have the world's highest GDP and the world's largest military, and you say we're crumbling.
We're an empire in decline. Every single social system,
so then why is our GDP continuing to rise?
All political analysts have described America as an empire in decline. Even
Name
the conservative ones.
Name 10.
Name 10. Yeah, I'm 5 and your mom is the other 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought, buddy. So can we actually get to the debate?
Yeah, sure, we can get to the debate. Yeah, so like America is clearly an empire in decline, right? Like, yeah, sure, we have the highest GDP, but what's going on with
the world's largest military?
And the world's largest military, but we can't even defeat Iran.
Yeah, we could.
No, we can't.
Really?
Why haven't we?
Afghanistan, forget Iran. Iran is
we lost in Afghanistan too, and we lost in Vietnam.
Like
Afghanistan is a total shithole because we destroyed it, right?
Yeah, we lost.
We did exactly what we wanted to. We turned Afghanistan from a dictator to a total shithole. What are you talking about? We did exactly what the United States wanted to. They have no power in the geopolitical sense.
Our mission our mission. What was our mission in Afghanistan?
To overthrow the government and turn it into a geopolitical shithole like we did.
Yeah, and did we overturn the government?
Is what?
Did we overturn the government?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
Who's ruling?
No, we didn't.
Who's ruling right?
Who's ruling right now?
Oh my God, the Taliban! You're so dumb.
And they're the ones who rule earlier.
I feel like you're too dumb to talk to.
Oh, yeah, suck my dick. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on, y'all. I gotta go ahead and get out of here, y'all. I've been on for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. I've been around for long, so I'm gonna go ahead and come back tomorrow. But I do appreciate y'all. Black, please come back tomorrow. I do apologize if we couldn't get to you. You as well. No problem. You as well, Satham. I appreciate you being up, and I'll be back tomorrow, guys. But I do gotta go ahead and get out of here. Y'all are one.